He's allowed to flex that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He's
He's allowed to because he is gay.
He sucked those cocks. He's very
Yeah, he's seen it. He knows what's up.
He lives in those streets, Spencer.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back to episode 69 of the Mantis and the Potheads podcast.
What episode is it actually?
It's the day before.
21.
It's episode 6 if we air it.
Well,
So
of the lost tapes.
This is the day before the spookiest day of the whole year.
Yep.
Wait, it's the 30th?
No, it's
Is
the
it?
29th.
Oh shit!
2019.
deal.
It's the eve before the eve.
There you go.
Halloween
that makes more
Eve.
sense.
It's the evening.
The Eve of Eves. Fucking get some Pokemon with this. Sorry. But yeah, good to be back, boys. I'm pretty glad. It's been a long time. Long time.
Hey, our viewers don't know that. We uploaded last week. It's definitely not been a year.
Well, I mean, we are our viewers in a sense, so
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Dude,
Sorry,
what a
our
take!
viewer.
What a take on the human consciousness.
I like to look at it a different angle, you know.
We are our own viewers. Son of a bitch.
Jeez.
No, it's been good. How's everyone?
Peachy.
Fucking unreal.
Nice.
Got these Twix, bro. got some mini-sized Snickers. Fuck, it doesn't get better than this.
It really doesn't.
User.
I wanted to talk about pumpkin carving just right off the bat. I think it's a. Well, are you ready
Whoa.
for pumpkin
I-
carving?
Dude, you're just gonna drop a bomb
I
like
already
you
did
did at the
it.
start of the
I think
podcast?
it's an underrated activity, like form of art. Like really, like people are like, oh, ice carving, sandcastle building. No one ever talks about pumpkin
It's a
carving.
fucking vegetable cunt.
Boy, it's the most like insane like expression of like cutting a fruit. Like you literally
Rip it
make
out its
a
insides.
base from an orange giant apple. It's pretty cool. And you know what? I did it yesterday. I was helping some kids out in my street, my neighborhood. We made some pumpkins. Nothing sus about that.
No, of course
It's a
not.
good time.
What'd you guys carve up?
Nice.
Just like
How many-
hats, classic Halloween stuff.
My-
How many
Just
Among
a
Us
whole-
faces did you make?
My girlfriend made one Among Us face actually.
Yeah, I saw it on Instagram.
I made a classic scary pumpkin face. I just I wanted to do a traditional. But there's a lot you can do with it. It's very interesting.
Well, I think why it's so underrated is because, like, you say, for example, you see your neighbor carving up a pumpkin, and you're like, hey, Carl, what are you doing? Like, with that pumpkin? I'm going to fuck that pumpkin. It's just like, oh, okay, yeah, cool.
Hey, Carl, why is there
Who do you
only a
live- who do you
hole
live
in the
next to?
pumpkin?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
hey, man, I mean, it's a neighborhood.
A hidden pumpkin carving secret that goes to waste a lot is the seeds.
Mm-hmm.
You eat them.
Put them on a pan, season them up, get some HYS seasoning salt,
Yeah.
put them in the oven. By the time you're done carving your pumpkin, bada bing, bada boom, you got some seeds to snack on.
Exactly.
Really kick in the Halloween
And
flavor.
you don't even have to buy candy. You just hand those out.
Even better,
Yeah.
save yourself the energy, hand out the slimy seeds.
Yeah.
You don't even cook them. Just hand out
It's
the
like, hey,
seeds.
I needed toilet paper this year anyway. It works out perfectly.
Yeah, I was like,
You
I
could
was-
hand out toilet paper actually this year.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only
Yeah.
year, I
Sanitizer.
feel like it's the
Yeah, I was
only
just
year
gonna say.
that would actually be kind of acceptable.
Like alcohol wipes, those fucking hand wipes?
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't
those are expensive.
I don't think there's gonna be any trick or
Those are
treaters
for the
here.
rich houses.
No one's coming out this year.
Mm-mm.
I feel like some people are just some parents are fucking
The real
idiots.
savages.
The real
The real beta testers of the,
The real-
human,
Yeah.
the human fucking species.
Well, it's crazy. Last time we even had a podcast was pre-COVID.
That's true.
We haven't had one since.
Hey, it affects all of us.
that shows how safe we are.
No.
We've been very safe, yeah.
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 I value my life before the viewers.
Yeah. And we can only respect
Yeah,
that.
can we bleep that out?
I'm gonna grab a beer. But,
Anybody else?
I got
Alright.
it, thanks.
but,
Thank you.
no, yeah, like, it's just been interesting the way the year went. And I remember, like, before 2020, everyone was like, this is gonna be my year, it's gonna be great.
Yeah,
You
people
know,
say that
work it
every
out.
year.
Yeah, I know, but
Those people
shit
got really
happened.
let down this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be honest. This is one of my better years. This has been
I
one
would
of the
say
best,
so.
the best years.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it's been a
haven't had to. Oh, here, sorry.
No, I just want to be.
Oh, you
I'll
got
get some
it.
headphones.
Oh, yes, sir.
Honestly,
Take some head.
haven't had too much complaints. The first, I was kind of scared at first. I didn't know. No one really knew what was going on. No one thought if it was a cold or if it was going to kill you. No one knew. No one knew how to.
Turns out it's
prevent
both.
It. It's both. It is both. But like staying inside finding who you are inside, not having to go outside and see anyone. It's kind of nice. It's
Jerking
like,
off 6 times a day.
Yeah, it's been kind of refreshing. It's like you get to really know who you are.
Wow.
And this year has gone by way too quick, though. That's the only negative.
Yeah, dude, it's gone by.
It's already October. I remember in February, I was looking at some pictures. I was like, dude, how has it been already 9 months? That's kind of ridiculous.
That's pretty fucking crazy.
Yes, staying on that inside grind. You know,
Yeah,
it's-
straight up.
Time flies, bro.
It's a-
Just
I
wake
think
up,
there's, like,
live
two-
inside your room.
There's two paths you can go, right? Like a lot of people have either just been gaming or been like trying to like self-improve some aspect
Cross
of themselves.
personal life shit.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I feel like at the beginning I was like,
Well, there's a
Fuck
third
this,
to that
man.
too. Some people just completely broke down.
Yeah,
Mid
straight up,
quarantine.
too.
Couldn't take it. Yeah.
Trying to start their small business.
yeah,
Get
not a great
fucked.
time.
Yeah.
No,
Rest
but
in peace.
no. What you're saying? The first couple months, though, for sure. I definitely
I wasn't
just
doing
sat
shit.
on my ass. Was like Trudeau dollars. What the fuck is this? Collecting that money, just gaming. I think I played through all the Dark Souls games. Soon
Dude,
as
my
COVID
friend did the
hit.
exact same thing. He
Crushed
started
them all.
all the Dark Souls and then he like finished them within like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
The only one I tagged on the Bloodborne series at the end of that, or just the one game. It's not a series.
The one
And
series?
and I didn't even beat it, but I beat all the Souls games, and I got to
You
like,
beat Dark Souls 2?
yeah.
That one's fucked.
Dude,
That one's fucked up. No, everyone skips
no
that one.
no talks about it, bro.
No,
That one
it's
hurts.
so bad.
That one
It's
hurts,
so bad. Dark Souls 1's the OG.
Permanently
Dark Souls 3 is pretty good.
permanently cursed in Dark Souls 2.
Yeah,
You know you
fuck.
get cursed, and then you can
Just done.
remove that shit.
Wait,
Not in Dark Souls 2.
There's so many like
Permanent
double
curse.
bosses in Dark Souls 2. I guess that's why it's a play on 2. But no, it's like Dark Souls 1, OG, pretty hard game. No one talks about Dark Souls 2, and then Dark Souls 3 is like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, and after the second month, it's just like it was really just nice. Really just working on myself, you know.
Nice.
Yeah, I kind of lucked out with like buying the home gym setup, like with my bench right before it. So I just like sat at home and crushed that after I stopped gaming.
I was trying to get on that game. It's so expensive, man.
Yeah,
It stopped gaming.
My roommates built a fucking bench press.
Yeah,
out
I
of
saw
wood.
that.
We're just ripping that through all the quarantine.
That
I was trying
was
to-
pretty dope.
I was trying to build a
Yeah.
squat rack out of wood. Like I wanted to go to Home Depot and get those, you know, the Home Depot like orange buckets.
Yeah.
I saw like a DIY. It's kind of sus, but it was you get a bunch of 2x4s.
Mhm.
You make notches for like the barbell,
Mhm.
and then you put concrete in the orange buckets, and then put the 2x4s there. So the concrete is like what
Yeah.
holds those buckets in place while you're squatting. And I was like really set on doing that, and then I was like, I probably don't want to die, so didn't end up going with it. And then I was looking at barbells. They're like almost $1,000 for like 225 plus
yeah.
the barbell. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Barbell is
You
what?
can't go
Just for the
new.
fucking boom.
Yeah, it's like
squat.
squat, bench, deadlift,
Yeah.
like all like the compound
Yeah.
exercises, and it's like way too much to justify.
You,
like,
you
doing
can't go
that.
brand new.
Yeah,
you,
you
have,
can't-
you
yeah.
have to go.
The only
used.
thing
You
is,
can't
everyone
go
knows that people are trying to buy shit right now on Facebook, so they upsell. Like,
So yeah, like I
so
said,
expensive.
I hit that
Yeah.
sweet spot.
You got lucky
I
'cause
got,
you did
I
it
got,
before.
I got in before, and then when
Fuck.
everyone was trying to hop on that shit, I was like,
I was so
Feeling
pissed.
good.
I really wanted to do it, and then my gym closed down, so I couldn't do anything.
Mhm.
But now it's back open. But
Oh, yeah.
besides the point,
So you gotta book a reservation for that, right? Like you gotta like book ahead of time.
you book ahead of time, come in, 50 people only, but that's still a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've been doing this like policy where it's like if you don't show up within 2 hours, they take $10 from you because it's like directly wired to your visa.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of an incentive to actually show up. But like they make so much money every hour because people always don't show up. There's at least 4
Dude,
or 5
that's
people who
just
don't. That's
scam,
50
though.
bucks.
Like,
That's 50
fucking-
bucks they make every hour.
Oh yeah.
Who would agree to that?
No one.
If you
no,
could get in a
fuck.
car accident, you get fucked.
Yeah, and you
And then
can't
they-
cancel 2 hours before. If you get in a car accident like an hour before, they just take $10 from you. It's insulting.
Wow.
It's so fucked.
Yeah.
But it's like it's been kind of motivating me to actually go because I'm like kind of cheap. Don't want to lose $10, but
There you go.
the incentive worked.
Fuck yeah.
hopefully, man.
Those sons of bitches.
Now drink that napkin sour.
They got you. Dude, those are nice, bro.
We built
like
a disc golf course.
Oh, yeah.
First month of quarantine.
That didn't work.
Never
very well.
used it again. Never used it since.
It's true. The day after, they
Me and
took down
Lucas.
all the fucking pylons, like all of.
Oh,
them.
really?
Yeah.
We haven't
Did
been
they?
back.
No, they didn't.
It's a guarantee if you go back, there's not gonna be a single one.
There's
there.
gonna be they're gonna be there, dude. We put trash in a field. Like we brought garbage to the field.
That was the name of my
We're
band
gonna
in
need to
high
actually bleep that one out.
Yeah,
Fucking park
we can't
rangers
say
coming
that.
down on our ass. Illegal dumping,
Park
$2,000 fine. Coming right to the
We
Potheads.
brought a couple of fucking metal poles and like left them.
It
Dude,
was-
me and Lucas tried it, and we basically just like. We spent the whole time just looking for discs in like these
really?
swamps in between the paths and like
Yeah.
these prickle bush forests.
It was literally just like prickles on top of prickles, and underneath was water.
Yeah.
So like,
It's like every once in a while you'd be like really trying to like cover ground, and you would just fucking fall through like 8 logs, and you'd be like
Just tumbling and
you know,
shit.
touching some water beneath. You'd be like, fuck.
it's like yeah.
We came out of there just like defeated. We were like, what was that?
Yeah, I love-
The last hole we played was the like. It turned out to be like 600 feet long. The part 3.
Oh, the
We called it
crusher.
The crusher. You guys remember
we thought,
that?
yeah, we thought it was,
Was
like,
that
oh,
the
it's
one-
350. It
The one
was
before the forest, right?
Yeah, that went
The
like
big
way
long
downhill.
one, yeah.
Yeah. But it
That
turned out to be like
fucked.
600 feet. Like it was so
Too
far.
long.
Yeah, it was
Me and
like-
Lucas both chucked our discs like so far away into some fucking prickle bushes and shit.
It's like if you didn't land like right on that little fucking walking path, you were completely fucked.
Just fucked.
Yeah.
We got out of that hole and we were just like walking back up the hill, like,
It's like-
fuck all the other holes, like we're going home.
I think we played like one in the forest, and that was all right.
That's true.
And then like
I think
and
the
then we're
forest
like,
is
yeah.
the way to go.
The forest was the way to go. We should put all the holes there.
Yeah, that forest had some good like vertical up and downs, some like horizontal planes where you like go in between
Yeah.
the trees.
So
That's nice. Like
Good
that.
tree placement.
Yeah, tree, it's all about the tree
The
placement.
tree
You know,
placement is
it's like-
excellent in that forest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking the same.
It's almost
thing.
like they're planted by fellow disc golfers.
Disc golf.
One disc golf. Just one tree.
Yes, sir.
I was looking around my neighborhood, and I was wondering like,
That's so quiet.
is it on?
Yeah, it's on. It's just like not recording. We gotta talk louder.
I was wondering why there was no decorations out, and I've been noticing like how sad it is. It's like a generational thing. Like I don't know if you guys notice in your neighborhoods. Like I know for you just moved
Yeah,
here,
the
so it's
decorations
different.
aren't fucking happening anymore.
Yeah.
It's because it's like we all grew up with decorations because we were that generation,
Also, it's COVID.
and it's COVID. But I've been noticing the last like 4 years, no Halloween decorations, barely any trick or treaters. I remember 2000, sub 2010, be getting like 50 trick or treaters.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was fucked.
Yo,
Now it's nothing. There'd be like the one odd guy dressing the shit up, but
But I mean,
it's fucked. Like
yeah.
Yes.
But that's almost similar to my neighborhood because like when I was a kid growing up there, all of us were like kids, and now like years later we're all adults, right? So like none of us want to go trick or treating anymore. We just want to sit our asses at home.
But I think it's
Or, like-
a cyclical thing because in
Yeah.
the next 30 years, our kids will be the kids and we'll once again want to decorate our houses. Like
Yeah.
I've noticed around here, there's a lot more kids because there's a lot more houses being decorated.
Really? Like, I bought this much candy last year, and I gave like 2 kids candy.
Really? That's so sad, man. It's so fucked.
Yeah, like 2
It's
people.
just
But
so
also
sad.
this road, I don't think people want to bring.
It's kind of an
kids on
awkward
this
road.
Yeah,
It's
right.
awkward, you know.
Because
Because
it's weird to look at though. Like
Kids fucking bang Halloween in my fucking parents' neighborhood.
really?
Every year, bro. They
Probably
always
the
run out
young
of
kids
candy
still.
in like 3 hours. They're just like, we never buy enough candy.
Oh,
I'm like, what are you talking about?
The
You know
same
the kids are coming.
The kids are making multiple rounds.
The kids are making
Just switching costumes.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude, you fucking hit up
Greedy
some of those. You hit up some of those like complex areas up in Citadel Parks, Castle Park area.
Prime
It's just
location.
like every fucking 30
Well, that's the
feet there's a
thing.
new
When
complex.
you go to
Yeah.
a
It
townhouse,
was like
you
this
just
a
hit
door,
up
that's a
lot of
door,
them.
that's a door. I mean,
At
if I was a
once.
kid and I knew about complexes, fuck, man.
I feel like
what I
diabetes
know.
is bred into
I did
our,
not know about
our
complexes
society
when I was
now.
a kid.
Yeah,
Like,
like
you're
you're
close.
close far. So
Yeah,
literally
I know that
Give
now.
kids fucking chocolate.
Should have fucking told 7-year-old Shane, man. Living the dream.
Yeah.
Did you know about complexes?
What? Yeah,
Holy
in,
shit.
in my parents' neighborhood, they're the only person, other than their neighbor across the street, that has their house decorated.
It's so sad, man.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Dude, I mean, like, as soon as I get to that age, I'm definitely decorating. I just, like,
100%.
it's not a... It's a house owner kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
So when you live in an area where it's not like a... Kind of like, I want to say like a senior area, kind of, where you got, like,
Old
just,
people.
like, nicer housing. No, like, real, like, low-income housing. Then you'll see a lot of that.
Dark turn, man.
You'll see a lot of the Halloween lights.
Yeah, gotta love
I just
old
felt
rich
a little
people.
savage saying that.
No, these like Twix value pack. These are like the rich people candy. This is like Costco poor people candy. And then you go to like Anmore, and this is all you get. Like, just
And you go to West
fucking-
Plateau, you see the Wonder Bars and shit.
Yeah,
You're like, what
yeah.
the fuck
the
is
whole
this?
fucking like $2 each bars.
Who's
Yeah.
buying full-size bars and giving them out, man?
Yeah, it's fun.
God
Get a
damn
couple of those
Anmore.
on your back. Also the chips. You always love
Yeah.
those. Small bags of chips.
You guys get anything like when you're younger?
1 year.
You get anything like really fucked up?
Yeah.
We got nerds once, but they were just black. Like they were pure black. Like
Oh,
it was
yeah,
like
yeah.
the orange and blue nerds, but they were black. We're like, yeah, we're not gonna eat these. Like this looks like fucking poison apples. Like this is not good. Have you ever got anything fucked up?
There was one time this house.
No, but I always heard about it.
There's one time this house just like left out just a bin of like these like Asian mint patties that no one could eat, and like no one touched them the entire time, so I just took them all, and they were awesome.
They were good.
Yeah.
Probably still have them till today.
No, I ate them all.
Oh, eh?
Me and my homie just like we just took them all. Like, all right, candy's
Fresh bread
candy.
for life.
I had a UNICEF bag just out of
Oh, I thought
the
one was-
popularity of UNICEF.
the one with
trying
the
to raise
spider on
money.
it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
You bet your
I
ass.
love that one.
And
I don't have it anymore.
it
Not
was
enough room in there.
it was.
Yeah,
That's
the
an
pillowcase
That's
is
an
the way to
OG
go.
bag, man.
And,
That is such a sick bag.
I would always get coins, and I wouldn't know why, and I was allowed to actually
You
trick or
get them
treat
all.
with my homies as like at a younger age. One of the only times my parents let me out of their fucking sight when I was a kid. That was when I was fucking trick or treating, and I would always get money. And I had no reason to explain it, and I would get toonies and shit.
Wow.
And I'd be like, man, I don't know why this is happening. They ask me if I'm UNICEF, and I just say yes. These toonies.
Don't know what it
So
means,
smart.
but
And so that was like a really weird thing for me on Halloween, but it like for like fucking like 3 or 4 years I was just like, fuck, this is dope, man. We used to the same
Dude.
bag,
I
lost
wish
the bag.
I wish I
saw
kept
it
that bag because I'd be rocking that bag everywhere now.
Yeah.
That's like such a sick bag, man. Like
anyone who has a
UNICEF
UNICEF bag, you know they're an OG.
that was actually sick, man.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, UNICEF is that was the joke. Everyone knows what UNICEF is. Fuck all y'all.
For our viewers who don't know what UNICEF is,
Go fuck yourself.
yeah, you're a terrible human being for not knowing what UNICEF is. What the fuck are you into?
Like, is that a brand of unicycles?
That's pretty much the weirdest thing. All that shit about fucking, they're gonna put fucking razor blades into candy apples. I got a fucking candy apple. Parents didn't let me eat it. Wouldn't know. Never got given the chance to know. Parents robbed me of that experience.
That's too crafty, man. Who makes fucking candy apples? Just time.
Yeah, bro, fuck.
I remember-
I think I've had like 2 my whole life. Just out of like subconscious fear of being drilled into me when I was a child.
Just like, if you have a candy apple, it's guaranteed to have razor
It's at
blades.
least
in it.
80%
Yeah.
blades, 20% caramel. There's no apple in there, son.
See, it's funny.
There's no-
I remember I read this article on Facebook like years ago, and it was talking about how this news station was saying that apparently that like people who smoke weed were giving weed to kids for Halloween.
Fucking
And like
legends.
someone commented, like, bro, who would want to give their weed for free? Like,
Yeah.
fuck no. Like, no one would do that. It's not
My-
making
And the
Limit
kid
on-
won't even appreciate
My,
it.
my,
Yeah,
my
sure.
$30 fucking edible gummies that I'm giving out to some 6-year-old so he just gets fucked and eats candy. You're doing that anyway. You kidding me? He's not enjoying that shit.
They're gonna get sugar high anyways.
So
So,
that's a ridiculous. I mean, I'm sure like it only needs to happen once, right? For
Yeah.
everybody to be cautious of it, because
If
that's a terrible thing to happen.
If you're gonna give an edible to anyone, give it to the poor parent who's like looking depressed as fuck with like 4 kids just running around. It's like, here, you need this, buddy. You're welcome. Happy Halloween.
I always had the best Halloweens, man. My grandparents would come over, and then I would dress up with my brother. We do like themes, and then like I was Obi-Wan Kenobi one year, and he was Darth Vader. Obi-Wan. No, Obi-Wan had a mustache. And then, we had like lightsabers, but we couldn't bring them to school.
Nice.
Of course, we
Wow.
don't want to swipe some motherfucker. Just fuck you.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you guys, but in our elementary school, there was like the Halloween parade. Where
Oh,
on the
yeah.
announcements they play like
Dude,
Monster
fuck, bro.
Mash, and then
damn, bro.
they
That's
come,
OG.
That was OG, right? Like
Yeah.
they'd bring all the grade 5s in, they'd come
Yeah.
into your class, and then you'd like conga line your way to the assembly. And then I remember, since I was dressed up as Obi-Wan, I was in like grade 3, and my brother was in like grade 5 at the time, or I must have been grade 2. And then he pulls up in his Darth Vader costume, but he has the mask on. And then I'm like, Daniel, it's me, Daniel. And then the guy's looking at me, he's like, looking at me with the Darth Vader eyes, and I'm getting kind of scared, and he lifts his mask up and he's like, who the fuck is Daniel? And I'm like, oh my god, I thought you were my brother. This is fun. Some other kid was Darth Vader.
That's why I stopped.
Flips up the mask. Hello there.
Hey, who the fuck is that?
I remember I had one of those also, but like
That's gold, man.
one year my dad like wanted to take it like above and beyond, and he's like, all right, I'm going to dress you up as like the headless horseman. So like he had me like
Head of the what?
headless horseman.
He gave
So
you
like
on the horse.
essentially like he made it look like the top of my head was like decapitated. I can't say the word decapitated. Thank you. Decapitated, and then like I would actually hold like a fake head like in a bucket.
Oh, that's sick.
And I actually got pulled aside by one of the teachers because she's like, "Hey, you're scaring some of the kids. You gotta go change your costume." I'm like, "No, fuck you! Like this costume is ripping it. Like because
You were in high school at an elementary school when that happened, right?
But yeah, no.
I think when I was in grade 4, I went as a punk. I wanted to go as a punk, so I got this fucking wig, and it just looked like a mohawk on the package. But then when I took it out of the package, it had like a skin helmet, and then the mohawk. So like, I had to wear this weird fucking like skin helmet.
It's like your actual head just poking out the side.
Yeah, exactly.
Those things can help.
Sheesh, that's fucked.
So I was put on my skin helmet. No, I'm just kidding.
Where's a gimp?
So then I was kind of pissed. My costume was like not as cool as I wanted it to be, and then so my brother hooked me up and he wrote he's like, nah, I'll write some cool punk bands, like it'll look like tattoos on the skin. So then he like took my mask and he wrote like Rancid on one side, and he wrote like
Rat Attack.
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille. He wrote Minor Threat on the other one, and I don't even know how my brother knew those bands at the time.
Anarchy, Slayer.
Yeah, dude, fucking just like he wrote like.
Did you get like eyeliner?
And then I put like fucking. I wore, but what I wore, my brother like made my costume, and he just put me in as like he basically put me in his like ripped up clothes. You know what I mean?
Spike bracelets,
and so I went to
pocket
school,
chains.
and there was another girl that was in my class, and she was a punk too that year, and her costume was just like perfect. Like it was like jean jackets, fucking like spikes on her wrists and shit. And like everybody was complimenting her. Nice. Everybody knew what she was, and then everybody looked at me and nobody fucking knew what I was. Everybody just assumed I was a hobo or something. Like, no, that was last year.
It's like, really, you're gonna be a hobo 2 years in a row, man? Come on.
I never dressed up in high school. Like that's like the one thing I regret.
I had some of
I
my
was
best
such a
costumes.
fag, and then I was like, no, I don't want to be myself. I'm pretty scary. But then one year I was like, I was wearing like
Not say that, please.
I was wearing like a not a flannel, like a white dress shirt, and I was wearing my glasses, and then someone was like, dude, you look like Filthy Frank. And then I was like, holy shit. So like I got some spaghetti from the cafeteria and put it in my pocket, and it was all like my whole pocket was all spaghettied up, and then I was just Filthy Frank, and I was like, damn, that's easiest costume ever. Purple Aki, exactly.
Dude, I dressed up all high school, and I still wanted to trick or treat in grade 10. Like I took my friend and like fucking.
Did you even get
was
candy?
just like way too tall. Yeah, we got some, but then we stopped. Yeah. But fucking like my brother, I remember fucking. He was in grade 12, and we were walking home from school. We started trick or treating on the way home, and he was a ghost that year, so he had a big white sheet on himself. And with 2 holes, and then like he knelt down at the doors that we knocked, and we knocked, and he had like a really big head, but then like he wouldn't say a word, and he'd hold out his bag, and then he'd just stand up and walk away. So awesome.
Oh, what a cute costume, you little kid! Oh Jesus
What's
Christ,
wrong
you're
with his
6'2".
Why is his head so big?
My best costume in high school is when me and Braden dressed up as slutty cats.
Nice.
Oh,
And
nice.
just fucking tape over the nips, fucking compression shorts, cat ears, and like tails. And we went to like the fucking.
How'd you not get shot, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the gym teacher was coming after. Anyway. Anyway, it was like we went to like we had like this costume show like in the gym, like in front of like everyone who wasn't participating, and they're like. The guy's like, so what are you guys? And we're just like, we are every teenage girl on Halloween. And then fucking laugh. And then we had to fucking principal like came down and was like, "That's very inappropriate. How dare you?" I'm like, like literally half the girls in our school are dressed the same.
Yeah.
Why? How are you mad?
But
It's
you guys are
so
guys.
stupid.
Yeah, why are you mad, bro?
Your penis was out too. So.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that part. I didn't actually have a tail, just a front tail.
Yes, sir. It's a mutated cat.
My neighbor went as you know the news video of the guy who like dressed up in the hoodie and the sunglasses and he goes, fuck her right in the pussy.
Yeah.
He did that and he was the fucker right in the pussy guy.
Oh, someone did that at our
Yeah.
high school too.
And then we used to have this catwalk like for Halloween. People would show off their costumes and shit, and there was like a microphone. And he went up, and this is like his grad prank. And he went up and he like grabbed the microphone out of the teacher's hand and goes, "Fuck her right in the pussy!" And everyone was like, "Yes!" Everyone's like, "Yes!" And then there's a picture of him just like sitting down on a table with like 6 teachers around him, and his like head's like this, and like they're all just like yelling at him. It's like picture is like perfect news cover.
Yeah.
Fuck her in the pussy, he gets in trouble.
That's awesome.
I think he got suspended.
Oh,
What?
Such a
fuck,
pussy move.
come
Let him
on.
say that, whatever.
Like,
See, some guys did that
Let him
at
fuck it
ours
up,
too,
pussy.
and he
Come
didn't
on.
get in shit.
Really?
Like, at all, yeah. Everyone laughed. The teachers were like, "Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
We're not
That's
paying enough
fine.
for this shit."
wow.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, teachers are too liberal nowadays.
Well, next Halloween episode, we should maybe share some scary stories.
Oh.
My life's not that.
My life really is not that interesting.
One time,
And then
I went to sleep.
had to open in the morning. No, I'm kidding.
One time, I went to sleep, woke up, next thing I knew, I was in a Catholic school. Just saying.
Oh my god.
Let that one sink in, just give it a second.
Was that
Pope.
yesterday?
No.
Pope Francis, what are you doing?
Francis,
I didn't know you
Help
had
me
2
get-
canes.
help me get out of the Pope hat. I'm somehow stuck.
Mr. Priest, why am I
It's
in the
so
basement?
dark in here.
Do you have any scary stories?
Oh, my cousin got circumcised when he was 13.
That's fucking terrifying.
They didn't put him under either. They just
Bro,
let him do it.
I don't
bastard.
think priests have the medical disposal.
Was he Jewish?
to have
Did he use, like, a
nitrous-
cigar cutter?
Nitrous oxide. Whatever the fuck they use. Yeah, no, dude, I was like, when I first heard that, I didn't believe it for a couple years, and I almost asked him face to face. I'm so glad I didn't. Hey, yo, little cuz. How's that foreskin treating ya? Heard
Or
it's
lack
not-
thereof.
Heard it's not there anymore. Yeah, no, I
See, that was
mean,
like- That's what my dad scared me with when I was a kid so much. He was like, "Clean your dick, or else you have to chop your foreskin off, and it's gonna hurt so fucking much." I'm like,
You're Uncut
What?
Gang too?
what? Oh yeah.
Yeah, straight.
Oh yeah.
Out.
Wait,
Straight
hood
out.
gang.
Hug Gang, yeah. Extra step in the shower, but it's worth it. I tell you, man. Free lubrication.
Free-
Yeah,
Amen, brother.
Amen. Look at you all cut folk.
Alright.
All you cut folk.
You mean
Fucking-
civilized?
This went from fucking.
Are you Jewel?
This went from a religious
somebody say
kind of
Joel?
joke about being stuck in the Pope's hat.
All the way
Now
to
we're
the
talking about
circumcision.
tips of our cocks. Back to the skin helmet.
I mean, yeah, we were already talking about it.
That's true.
I've seen a lot of pretty creative things for Halloween. I bet you if you just went out on Halloween, you'd catch the fuck out this year as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, probably making fucking fat stacks. You just go to a house, you're probably getting fucking loaded up for being one of the brave ones, you know.
Yeah, but I feel like, you know, the thing about like trying to dress up is something this like nowadays in this generation, like you always kind of have that fear of like if you dress up as something, it could be considered like cultural appropriation
Nope,
or
not
like
me.
something
No.
like
No,
that's
but there is such thing as
no,
not
it is
giving a
100%.
fuck.
Like I don't think people should give a fuck, but like you know, it's just the way I think we've. How do I put it? Like,
I'm just
come
gonna
to.
be annoyed at how many fucking COVID costumes are gonna fucking be out.
Look like germs.
Giant mask.
Yeah.
Shush.
Giant masks.
My mom did that. She put a giant mask on her car in the front grill.
Okay, that's pretty sick.
That's actually pretty smart.
Yeah, it was cool until her car overheated.
Yeah, bro.
Fucking radiator was black.
Can't even do that.
Sheesh.
I fucking hate those like black leather mats that go on top of your car. Like,
Yeah, what the
are you
fuck are
doing?
those for, eh?
What are you doing?
What like the
I mean, it
laws?
just looks stupid, you know. No, it's like the I don't know what the fuck it is, bro. It's like a leather fucking cover for your car. It makes it look like it's got a G-string on.
That sounds awesome.
Do you guys believe in spirits? Ghosts?
Not really.
I don't. I straight up don't.
As I get older, I've become more religious. I was a lot more cynical about religion when I was younger, and as I get older, you know, the faith just grows and grows every day.
But I think honestly, for me personally, like
It's just straight
I
up.
think there's potential chance that there could be, but like I don't feel like there's enough evidence to prove it.
Well, just like when
I
you
don't think
die,
it's not about
your energy
evidence
has
at
to go
that point.
somewhere, right?
Yeah.
We just don't know where.
So
Some things
it
are
gets
just
recycled.
unexplainable.
Back into the
Yeah.
soil.
Yeah, some things we're not gonna like when he's asking is like, do you personally believe in it? It's not about
Yeah.
like whether or not it's been proven.
Yeah.
Whenever I have this conversation with my girlfriend, every single time she gets mad at me because I'm like, dude, there's no evidence, there's no proof. I can tell you for a fact that it's all these psychological factors that you're thinking about when you see a ghost. That's what I say.
That's what
And then she goes, fuck you, man, I saw my grandpa 2 feet away from me and he died 7 years ago. And then it's like, she's like, oh, you just can't explain it. It's something you can't explain. But that's what I'm wondering is if you guys ever seen something that you just can't explain.
Nothing that I can't explain with the word drugs.
No. See, okay.
Shane, you got my back on this.
So I have one story.
It's a pretty fucked up kid.
So okay, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of like shadow people. Like, have you?
Wow.
Wow.
But anyway, so.
Negroes.
At least you use the other word.
Look at that reaction.
Yeah.
Damn.
Remember, 3,400
I just
feet.
told him that.
You guys ever hear? I'm sorry.
Anyway, so.
Go on, Spencer.
So no, Mantis, not that. But anyway, so there was one time when I was a kid, and like my mom was like, "Oh, go get like a 2-gallon jug of milk from the garage." I'm like, "All right, cool." I'm like probably I don't know, maybe 8 at the time. So like I open up the garage, it's dark, but like there's still enough light to kind of enter the garage, and like we had 2 vans in the garage at the time, and like I literally like opened the door. And I saw like the figure of a person like go from like one end to the other, like at the very end of the garage, like just hop from one to the back or like one to the other. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I just shut the door. I'm like, all right, well, fuck that. I'm not going in there. Like it just, yeah. And then like
shadow.
You sure it wasn't your own shadow?
I'm
It was a really hot day.
I'm 100% confident it was like definitely not mine because even
You said the light was coming from behind you, going into the.
No, like, well, there was, of course, the light behind me, but there was also the light, like, on the side of the garage, there's, like, a window there, so, like, there's light that seeps in through that as well.
So you're having light on you from 2 angles, so.
It was, I don't think it was my
like,
shadow.
See, you can't explain
I
it.
believe like there's stuff you can't explain, but also this apartment makes that appearance like happen pretty often because like the thing is, if a car went by on the street and it was nighttime, it could have been the light of a passing car.
No, but this
Oh,
was,
yeah.
like, during the day. Like, this was, like, oh, God, I don't know, maybe, like,
2:15.
Okay. Okay, no.
Past 3?
Like, it was
Sorry.
probably, maybe it was closer to the evening, like, but it still
Spencer,
wasn't
you were
dark.
there, so yeah.
It's just hard to explain, like, just the shit that I saw. And, like, of course, like, when I went back a second time, I turned on the light to see. Like, so I actually went to that spot, and there was nothing there. I'm like, alright, cool. And then, you know, just kind of grabbed the milk and moved on.
Yeah, no, I was like terrified of the dark when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
think most kids
scariest
are, though,
fear.
to be
It's
honest.
that fear of the unknown.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I have a story to tell that isn't mine. My dad had an encounter when he lived by himself in this apartment. Well, my mom was moving in there with him, but he lived by himself at the time. And he lived on the 4th floor, and he was really into Civilization, the game Civilization at the time.
Oh, Civ Rev, yeah.
He plays Civ. And he was like building his little life in Civ, whatever. And he was like an undergrad university, so he was supposed to be studying, but he wasn't. And I guess he had a few beers, and it was getting pretty late at night. It was probably 1 a.m. He had to get up really early in the morning, so he's like, fuck it, might as well call it a night. And he walks into his kitchen, and there's a mirror, a mirror like right here on the side.
and then the kitchen's like right here. So he walked into his kitchen, probably made himself a sandwich or something, came back, and then he thought he saw something in the mirror, and he's like, oh man, I really don't want to look in the mirror. And he was telling us this when we were in like a Dairy Queen like drive-thru one time, but he's like, I went back and I started walking back, and then I, like in the glimpse of my eye, like in the corner of my eye, he turned to look at the mirror, and then there was someone behind him, like an old person behind him, just staring at him.
Oh.
And then he was like, is someone in my apartment right now? And he was like, didn't want to turn around to actually confirm it, but he turns around, just his kitchen, and he's like, okay, turns back, nothing's in the mirror, and he's like, doesn't know if it's fight or flight, fucking sympathetic nervous system going on, doesn't know what's going on, calls it whatever, goes to sleep. And then the next morning he gets a call from his friend who lives in the apartment, not in the same house or in the same room, but he's like, oh shit, did you hear what happened last night? The guy a floor below you died. He had a heart attack, old dude, and he passed away that night.
Dude.
And that, like,
that's,
you can't put two and two together, but like that's like what he said. And he's like, yeah, I remember the stretcher in the morning, like of the guy being like taken away. So
see, that even just gave me shivers. Like, that's freaky, man.
You can't explain those things,
yeah.
man.
Was it the guy with like the guy that he saw? Was it the guy that died?
He doesn't know, like, because he's never met him. But like,
okay.
But if he put two and together. If you're having a heart attack, you're probably older.
Yeah.
Right. So he assumed that it was the older gentleman. But
freaky.
That's something to think about, right?
See, I would fucking. I fucking would love for that kind of shit to happen to me.
Never happened to me, bro.
Because I would voice so much of my opinion on that and just kind of be so caught up in it. I think it'd be really cool, to have something like that happen to you. But until it happens,
you can't. You err on the side of caution, right?
Skeptical.
I actually remember I got another story where it was like maybe 2 years ago. Actually, I was like chilling in my basement and like. It's not like an actual suite, but anyways, that's not important. But there are two like sliding doors, like there are glass sliding doors. I mean, it's kind of like what you had at your old place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've run into those a few times.
Yeah, so I was just kind of like, it was like probably 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that. I'm like kind of just sitting there playing on my Xbox. And I literally hear like tapping on the window. Like it was literally like just like a... Right? And then I'm like, okay, that's weird. So I literally stood up, look, and it stops. I'm like, okay, that's weird. And then like the moment like I lean
sneaking up behind you. Dead silence.
The moment I lean
silence,
back
bro.
down, it starts again. Like the tapping just starts. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And like I stood up. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna call it a night. Maybe it's just me being fucking too tired. So I stood up. I turned off the Xbox, and I'm walking to my room, and I just hear the tapping. Like just kind of following along the door, like so, like because there's like the sliding door and then like a set of windows and then the other sliding door. So like as I'm walking, I just hear it like going, like essentially following me. I'm like, all right, yeah, fuck that, I'm done. Like shut the door, lock it. I'm like, I don't want to look out. I don't want to know what's outside.
Dude, see, I would totally look, bro.
I know you're the kind of guy who would.
Every time
you would go adventure.
I know how white people die. That's how they die in the movies. Damn it!
That's how black people die.
That's how black people die in the movies.
Black guys are the ballsy guys. White guys
every
time
time
black guys watch it happen, they're like, oh shit, and then they run away.
Thank God that wasn't me. Fuck you.
every time I heard like a noise or like something in my basement, I always like turn on every single light possible. Look around and be like,
do the same thing.
It's nothing. Turn them all back off and then go back to fucking jerking off, whatever else doing.
I've gotten the heebie-jeebies with like insects a bunch of times though. Where massive spider in the night crawls across your hand or something or your foot, and you're just like, I lost it, and now I'm awake as fuck, and I'm sitting here, and you're essentially just like.
There was a spider crawling right there on Mantis's foot the other few seconds ago.
What?
He was crawling on your seat. I was gonna say something, but I didn't want to interrupt.
You didn't say anything? You're kidding.
No, it wasn't a big one. It was
I brought these in from outside, and I actually like took Q-tips and fucking was taking like spider nests out of the bottom.
It was just a little one. I didn't want to say anything. He's probably on Spencer's.
He's probably just chilling right there. Is it the like microscopic one right there?
It was a small one, yeah.
That's okay.
Fuck, keep it in your house. Like keep out the flies.
I didn't want to bring
But
penis boners.
I remember there was actually
I was killing them earlier.
it scared the fuck out of me. But I remember I had a nightmare where I was sleeping in my bed, and I was hearing like a buzzing kind of sound.
Man, you have
like-
a lot of these days.
Yeah.
I'm kind of fucked up.
That's kind of
Anyways,
fucked up
I
childhood, man.
I kind of need help.
You lived in
Anyways,
Chernobyl, man. Give him a break.
yeah, that's what happens, man. Hey, those
Shell
fucking
shock.
radioactive dogs, man. Hey, those things are fucked. Anyways, and like I had a nightmare where like I was in my room, and all of a sudden like I was hearing a buzzing sound, and all of these bees started coming out from under the door, like coming up the out the door and everything.
Bees?
Yeah, there's a bunch of bees. And anyways, and then I actually
should
woke
take as a
up.
child,
That's
Spencer.
a sleep
A
paralysis.
lot.
That's a sleep paralysis.
And then I actually woke up though, and like I heard buzzing in my ear. Like I swatted, and I think it was a mosquito or something.
Yeah.
But the fact that tiny sound while I was sleeping affected the dream was insane.
No. That shit is so true. You know when
Yeah.
you're watching a movie and some kid's waking up and he hears his mom yelling at him, and it happens to be like a giant bug that gets his mom's face, and it's then starts yelling at him. That is spot fucking on, man.
Yeah, dude.
Or the alarm clock where it's like, and then like the actors like the mom's like, wake up. Transition. They're like, fuck. I'm like school.
Yeah, dude. I used to have fucking like crazy ass fucking like nightmares as a kid. Like wake up, sweating fucking balls, like can't fucking sleep.
Wanting to go to your parents' room.
Pacing around my room, just like, alright, if you go back to sleep now, you're just gonna enter the fucking dream at the exact same point where you left off. So you're just gonna fucking wait it out another 10 minutes, get back in there, and they would be influenced by fucking anything that I watch. That's very easily influenced in my dreams. Doesn't matter. You're watching fucking VeggieTales, trying to play it safe. Nah, fucking hit up some Larry the Cucumber and some Christian stories.
Man.
Nah, you got fucking Larry the Cucumber running a fucking slushy machine company out of mushrooms, giant mushrooms. He's like fucking 8 feet tall, and if you fucking make a move and steal a sip of any of his slushies, he's gonna murder your ass. Don't know how this motherfucker's wielding knives, but he is. Just floating in the air. No, like, I don't know, just like crazy ass shit. For no reason.
Pangu used to do that to me.
Dude, you would have Pangu dreams?
Pangu's fucked up.
Pangu was so safe for me.
Can you talk about shows for kids that are like for kids but aren't really that like for kids? You know
Jacob Tutu. Jacob Tutu, bro.
Yeah.
The animation, just the way it was drawn, bro. That shit was creepy.
Hey Arnold. I would say Hey Arnold.
The scarily cat. What's that one called?
The cat?
Or the scarily dog.
The cowardly dog.
Cowardly
Yeah,
dog.
cowardly dog.
What's his name?
Oh, Courage.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Dude, that shit's not for kids though.
No, 100%.
Like that shit's
It was
Teletoon
not.
at night type deal. Like that's not
Well,
for
do
kids.
you guys remember that
It's so
old?
fucking scary.
Do you remember that old show called
Jamie, can you pull that up?
Gargoyles?
Jamie, pull it up.
Do you remember that show, Gargoyles?
No, we didn't grow up in Russia, dude. Like what the hell?
No, that was an actual Disney show released here, like in Canada and the US. Like, it was a Canadian show.
You guys seen Gargoyles? Good show.
Gargoyles.
Actually, I do remember Gargoyles.
Yeah, it was
I
a
know.
dark show, man. That shit was dark. Or like Cyber 6. That was another one.
Wait.
Speaking
Speaking
of
of
gargoyles, wait, no, hold on. No, I'm just thinking of gargoyles. The gargoyles in fucking the
Hunchback.
Hunchback.
No. I'll
Show me the show.
So,
All
Let's
right.
see this.
So while this is getting looked up by our good friend Jamie here, a show that is not
Thanks,
so crazy, but is just super weird. You guys know about Reboot?
Never heard
I
of
love
Reboot.
Reboot.
That show.
Watch that shit all the time.
We've talked about this. Don't be talking about Reboot.
That's Gargoyles.
Let's
You
see.
didn't like Reboot, Shane?
That was like an actual show.
I had
released.
no fucking idea what was going on in Reboot. It was
I
my
didn't
first
either.
time seeing that animation. I really had no clue. It looked like it was like a 3D He-Man that was made. That's kind of
3D
what I
man?
thought it was.
Yeah, dude, it's the beginning. It was
super
right at
weird.
the beginning. That and Beast Wars, fucking.
Yeah!
Beast Wars,
Beast
yeah.
Hunters. Was it Beast
Yeah,
Wars?
No, Beast Wars with fucking like. Wasminator.
I think
Me
they
and my
were-
brother
were
would
they called
watch
Beast
that
Hunters
shit.
and Beast
Yeah.
Wars?
Beast Hunters. It might have been Beast Hunters.
Do you
Like,
guys
they were
remember
called
that?
Beast Hunters, but the show was Beast Wars.
I remember
Yeah,
there was.
I think so.
I remember there was a show
I
like
do
on
remember that.
when YTV was a thing, and it was
Oh,
called Mystery
this-
Hunters, and like it was these two like
I remember that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mystery Hunters.
Mystery
Great.
Hunters. That was such a good show. They talked about like monsters like Loch Ness,
Aliens.
Frankenstein, aliens, werewolves.
Great show.
Yeah,
There
that
was
really
there's
shit.
another show I'm trying to find right now that
Oh,
was really
shit.
fucked up.
What?
Going out of kids shows into a more fucked up topic.
Mhm.
You guys know
Life
about
on
Heaven's
Deck.
Gate?
Who?
You guys know what Heaven's Gate is?
No.
No.
Only Hells.
Yeah, Hell's Gate, the ride at P&E. That shit hurts you,
Yeah.
man. That
The
shit
town
actually
in
I can't do it.
Central BC.
Hell's Gate, actually, guys. First time going there.
I was-
Massive pussy, didn't even ride it, bro.
Wow.
I was just, I
Really?
looked at that shit.
I've done
I was
every
like,
single
fair
ride.
enough.
I've done
No,
every
I
single
respect
ride at
that.
P&E.
Okay, have since then I have done.
Revelation, best fucking ride.
Okay,
at
I
P&E.
haven't
By
done.
far.
I haven't done
Yeah,
drop
by
zone.
far.
I
Oh, the
haven't done
atmosphere
drop
though,
zone.
that ride is sick.
I haven't done drop zone. And
Drop
I
zone,
haven't
drop
I haven't
zone's
done
overrated.
Revelation.
Drop zone's
Drop
like
zone seems
only-
lame. You
it's
have to
only-
climb a ladder, bro.
Yo, it's only
like
30
cool
feet
for
for like
this.
20 minutes. And then you climb up there, and then they go, okay, we're gonna release you. And then you're like, oh, that was lame.
Yeah,
20
yeah.
bucks. But the Revelation is fucking so fun. It's like,
I haven't done the Revelation.
just spit. I would look at it as a kid, like I would be going down the
Very
bridge there
good.
on North Van, or to North Van, and I'd be looking at the Revelation like, fuck that. And then I did it, and I was like, bro, this is the funnest ride ever. Like you literally get to a point where you're at the top, and the inertia of the fucking, because it's like on a joint here, and the inertia of the thing is so you're like upside down while at the top, because they stop it to get the people into like the cart, and then it like slowly creeps down. You're like jiggling up there. It's
Yeah.
so fun, bro.
See, it seems though. I've hit up all the other rides though.
You know,
Except
the,
like
those
taxi.
two.
I like the taxi one.
Do you know the mini
taxi ride?
mini
That's fun.
elevator? There's like
There's a mini hole.
there's like the miniature
Oh,
one.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
one
yeah.
is way worse than the actual elevator.
Really?
That one puts you at the top and then drops you and does it again. And it drops you and does it again. It's so fucked, man.
Dude, there's a lot of rides at P&E that, like, my instinct as a kid was like, these are not safe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, the
Like,
wooden roller
the
coaster
wooden
is
roller
not safe.
coaster, I was like, 60
Oh, yeah,
pounds
no,
when I
still
went on
isn't
it,
safe,
But that
bro.
And I
ride is
literally
over
had
100
there's
years
no
old. so-
seatbelts or jack.
Yeah.
I was just fucking holding on for my life.
Yeah.
Because every time it
Dude,
would
that's
go
good old school
down,
fun,
I
man.
was so light and skinny as a kid. Like,
You-
every
you
time it
need
would
the
go
fear.
down, I would raise out of my seat. And holding onto the bar was the only thing that kept me in the fucking thing.
Dude, you need the fear to actually
What kind of
drive
roller
the
coaster
adrenaline.
has no,
Yeah.
no like seatbelt?
Yo, corkscrew though.
Old-
like when I was a
old
kid,
wooden roller
corkscrew was
coasters.
fucking terrible.
Dude, that thing gets me fucking
I
whiplash.
still.
Oh, yeah.
I still haven't
Fuck
haven't done it.
Really?
Dude,
It's
that's the
not
only
worth it,
ride
man.
I
That thing
haven't
fucks you
done.
up.
Yeah,
dude.
that ride scared the
Dude.
fuck out of me. The roller coaster, man.
Do you know the
Like with the
Crazy
fucking.
Beach Party, so much fun.
There's one ride that-
So much
Yeah.
fun.
There's
Love
one
that
ride that doesn't exist. It's not there anymore, but it used to be there when I was a kid. It was called Mousetrap.
Mousetrap was so fucking
Dude,
scary.
that
I
gave
never got to go there. I
whiplash.
never got to go on that one.
Heavy
It
whiplash.
just went to 90-degree corners.
like just
Yeah.
don't.
and I tried not putting
like
my
cracking your
seatbelt
whole
on to
neck,
be
yeah.
cool. And
Man.
it was
Now I have scoliosis,
literally-
thanks,
Yeah,
dude.
dude, that shit. Oh
I
my
was
god.
so close to falling out.
Dude,
like,
it was-
you would just be like 50 feet in the air, but that's enough to fuck you up. Like,
Yeah, 100%.
Honestly, man, if everything goes south in my career, I'm just gonna go work at like an amusement park. That like you can't be like an unhappy person working there. That is
Remember-
like constant fun. I guess not standing for 24 hours, but that would be like the best atmosphere ever.
No, what was the coolest was actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, what was the
It's
coolest
happy
was
there.
my aunt used to work with the
But it's
P&E.
not the same.
So like the thing that was so cool when she used to work there was that she would actually let us in early before anyone else was
Nice.
actually allowed to get in. So we'd be on the rides like before anyone else, and you just see this long lineup outside. It's
Yeah.
like fuck you guys. Like, you
Dude,
guys
half
are-
the fun about Playland was the P&E, like the whole thing.
yeah,
Like
100%.
all like the remember the
events.
super dogs.
I never did those. Stuff.
Really, dude, that was like the best for me.
The motor, like the dirt bikes when they're doing the flips and
Yeah.
everything. That's cool.
Super Dogs and Dirt Bikes, they had RC cars that drifted.
Yeah.
Like, massive arena, like a massive
Dude,
race
that
course.
was like
sick.
that was the most fun for me because then you chill there and then your parents are like, "Okay, let's go fucking look at the mini donuts," and then you get to see the mini donuts being made. They flip onto the thing. You get like a
Yeah.
package of these greasy ass mini donuts.
Oh,
They're delicious.
so
It's like,
good.
they're like,
Yo,
oh,
deep fried,
fuck.
yo, the deep
Deep
fried
fried
Mars
shit.
bars.
Deep fried
Oh.
Kool-Aid.
Deep fried Kool-Aid.
Dude, have you ever had deep fried
What?
Kool-Aid?
Yeah,
so
dude,
good.
that's the
I thought
thing.
you were
Yeah.
lying.
No, bro, they're so good.
I have a deep fried.
Deep fried ice cream. You can deep fry ice cream.
Yeah. I knew,
Yeah,
about
but-
that. I knew about that. Come on.
Yeah, I got
That's-
that.
Deep fried
Dude,
Kool-Aid though?
Deep fried Kool-Aid is shit.
Yeah.
Deep fried grape Kool-Aid?
It's good, man. It's unnatural, but it's good.
So, Heaven's Gate though. Heaven's Gate
Yeah, where did we go from
was
there?
a religious cult created by this guy who got these people to follow him by telling his followers and anybody that wanted to join that the two people that came down before the revelation of Earth that were spreading the good word were actually alien spirits that weren't attached to any body or consciousness, meat vessel, if you will. And
My middle name.
there's two people that
That's
were
your
the
stripper
leaders. The man,
Meat vessel.
leader of Heaven's Gate, and his wife, one of the first
That's fucked
soon-to-be members. And when he created
Mantis, can
it,
you pass the box?
he has the exact same plot of his whole theory
Toe dexterity.
of the Fallout 4 conspiracy theorists in it,
Okay.
where they tell you have to sell all of your earthly possessions and everything that you have an attachment to, and when the reckoning comes, these alien spirits that that will come back, that have been led to you by these two people, the man and the wife, the leaders of Heaven's Gate. They will let you ascend into this fucking fourth dimension or hop aboard the mothership, and you'll be sent to this new alien fucking world, and Earth will be recycled. And
Sounds like Mass Effect.
he told that's also Mass Effect.
No.
Shit, bro. That's
The recycling part, at least.
Oh,
They're very health conscious.
I
the
didn't.
aliens.
I didn't finish Mass Effect.
So good, man.
Number 2 was kills. Number two is
the
fucking kills, bro.
best one, bro. Anyway,
Didn't finish. And so he got all these followers, and I shit you not, the entire Fallout 4 conspiracy theorists were based off of these people.
that's pretty sick.
And they said that, they were free-willed people, and their whole mission to prove their devotion after the man and the wife accrued enough members were to travel around homeless, like hobos across the fucking U.S. Midwest, and just go around trying to prove their faith, trying to leave their meat sacks and ascend into what they called Tella, which was this higher form of...
Nutella?
It was a higher form of consciousness. Now, of course, the way of ascending, if you can't believe, was suicide. That was how you left
That's
your
most
vessel.
cults.
Okay,
Yeah.
So this religious
Where
cult,
this is going.
after I
That's
don't
the
know how
kicker.
many
Wait, was
years...
this the Jonestown cult?
Nope,
Oh.
no. After so many years of sustaining their life wandering around as hobos, finally found a property which was costing them about $7,000, give or take, a month in rent. And the way that these fucking hobos earned their money was Heaven's Gate was the website created for their fucking cult, and Heaven's Gate was also a website that was a group of web developers that created websites in the early 90s, late 80s.
Right.
And a lot of these earlier on websites are actually created by Heaven's Gate, so you can go back and see that this was actually a real thing, this actually existed. And this happened really recently. So, on the day of Ascension, where this comet passed by, the leader took it upon himself to say, you know what? This comet only passes by the Earth every 2,000 years. You know what also happened about 2,000 years ago? The coming of Jesus Christ. Now, I said before that we were the people brought down before the Ascension, like in the book of Revelations, to spread the word so that way other of Jesus' disciples could achieve this higher form of evolution, and they would all be taken away on this mothership when the Earth was recycled.
So that's why you've been getting into religion recently.
However, so this comet flies by, he's like, pieces it together, he's like, you know what, about 2,000 years ago, this is too coincidental. I'm gonna rewrite the theory of what our religion is based on. I'm the fucking second coming of Jesus Christ. This comet passed by,
Oh,
that's the signal that the ship is coming by soon, and we all have to leave soon
Hop
and
aboard.
achieve this higher form, and everyone that has not achieved it will be left behind. So, completely rewrites the theory. A lot of this was attributed to one of the co-founders, his wife, the other person that kind of started it with him. She died, and he was like, you know what? Fucking rewriting the whole theory of what this is based on. All of the members down, who have left their lives completely normal, probably a little bit fucked up Americans, and are just completely devoted, left everything, left their entire lives behind, careers, just fucking became traveling hobos because this motherfucker said he was the second coming of Jesus Christ halfway through your trip, and you're still down for whatever the fuck he's talking about. On the day of reckoning where it finally came, they all took fucking pills that dissolved their fucking stomach
Cyanide
insides,
pills.
and then fucking so they poisoned themselves, and then if that wasn't enough, they wrapped plastic bags around their heads with string on them, and then pulled the string and asphyxiated themselves to make sure that they would die and achieve this higher form.
Oh, Christ.
So this cop walks in. This is how it was all found out. This cop or the sheriff walks in. Fucking like, I think it was like 31 dead people in bunk beds in this fucking random place that's been abandoned and vacated. And the reason the
Just a
sheriff was
hostel full
called
of 30 dead people?
was because some fucking person was just like, hey, I'm not getting my fucking rent. And then this cop rolls up and he's just like, actually, 31 people here committed suicide because they belong to this religious cult. A lot of the people too, like their families, right? They just died and up and out of nowhere. You wanna, even if you're disconnected with your mom or your dad, you wanna see them when they're fucking dying.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? Last couple words, whatever, just all gone because fucking this guy said he was the second coming of Jesus Christ. So when you're going to the P&E, make sure you're going to Hell's Gate and not Heaven's Gate, because you might get confused and end up joining a religious cult by accident.
You know, it's not that uncommon. Like
What,
people joining cults and shit.
Wow.
Like it's not that it's not that weird. Like
Welcome back.
you know the people who die in cults, you usually blame it on their like internal attributes. It's like, yeah, he must have been fucking retarded. Like he must have really been stupid to think that guy's real. But it's like, it's all we're learning about this right now. It's like social perception of how you see the world. Like if you're born into a normal life, you can, like any one of us, you may say that you can't or whatever, but like you may find yourself one day being in a cult, and you can be like, oh no, I'm smarter than that. But a lot of these people are normal people who like the Jonestown cult, normal people who fucking killed themselves because they thought they were gonna ascend and they wanted to help their family out, so they killed their kids too with them. Like it's like normal people can do fucked up things, man. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Like it's I'm trying to pull it up right now,
But
Jamie.
that's
Yeah, dude, you gotta get rid of the fucking idea that there is like normal fucking people.
It's all about
Everybody, we're one fucking species. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's like
That's
we're
why I fucking hate like. No, I don't know how I should get into this, but that's why
This
I
is
hate
the Halloween episode.
everybody's.
That's
That's why I hate
not-
everybody's obsession with murderers
Like cold
and
cases.
Yeah,
psychopaths.
yeah.
Like serial
because
killers.
it's
Serial killers,
they're
not murderers.
also it's not their genotype, right? It's their phenotype. It's their genes plus their environment, which equals them. They're not born to murder people necessarily. They're born, and then maybe they have predisposed genes to antisocial
No,
behavior.
see, that's
but
exactly what
but
I was
it's
gonna say
it's a
is
combination
bullshit.
between both, because they are susceptible to becoming those type of people depending what environment they're in.
It doesn't matter because to me, whatever kind of fucking person and your predispositions are, you learn and you fucking make choices in your life. Everybody does the same fucking shit. You know what I mean? And the reason I fucking hate how interested our culture is in psychopaths and fucking serial killers and like the idea that they're like geniuses and shit is because every single person in this fucking room can do that. Can go and fucking kill people. Also, like, you could be a rapist. You could be all those awful things.
No, it's
just by, you know what I mean?
It's circumstantial.
No.
It's fucking circumstantial. You know what I mean? And you aren't. People are so interested in it because I think it's this fucking like you are being hypocritical and your interest is actually like your interest in yourself, your excuse is that like it interests you, psychopaths interest you, and people like that interest you. But what I actually think is that you have the same capacity to do exactly all these horrible things too, and so your interest in it is you giving yourself like this what's it called when you appreciate something like from a second-hand point of view.
I know what the word you're trying to say is.
Yeah, fucking, it's people are just appreciating it for literally what it is, with the excuse that it's like you're differentiating yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But really, you're appreciating what they're doing.
You're,
in my opinion.
What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was gonna say. What's interesting is I remember I read this thing where it was talking about an experiment that was done like in the 50s or the 60s, And essentially, the way this experiment, they had to cut it early because of how fucked up it was getting.
Stanley Milgram.
Yeah, you're talking about Stanley Milgram.
The one where like they would
Shock test?
the shock test. Yeah,
That's
that was-
conformity. That's conformity.
Yeah.
That's not the Milgram.
Yeah, that's
That's
Stanley
the
Milgram.
Milgram?
Yeah.
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 That like that kind of backs up Mantis' theory of like how we could all be killers
It's
because
that was a study on
the guy in the
conformity.
lab coat tells you
And
to
yeah,
fucking shock a person.
The authority figure is the guy from Harvard who's in a lab coat who is saying, keep going, I'll take the blame, right? And they wanted to compare. It was a kind of a far stretch, and they did a lot of unethical. Like you can't do that
Who
shit
cares?
nowadays.
I like
But
it.
it's an interesting like concept. You can't do that anymore. You
Oh,
can't
yeah.
you can't
Actors
put you
and-
can't put people under that stress anymore. But basically, they had a Confederate saying that he was like, "Oh, I have a heart condition. Please stop shocking me," and the participant keeps shocking them, and
The
then
person's in another room too.
yeah, the
Like,
person in another room that
They can
can't
only
see.
hear on a microphone
Yeah.
an actor reacting to them shocking
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
participant.
so no
would
one's
have to
actually getting
shock
hurt,
the
yeah.
but
person
they wanted
in the
to
other room.
evaluate how
Obedience.
far a person conformity, like how far a person would go, and they were relating the theme to like Nazi Germany, how Hitler would make all these people hate a certain race, and it's not a process of, oh, you think you're not going to do that. It's a process of like authority. Like, believe it or not, the North American goal is to think that we're not being under conformity. A lot of Asian cultures, if you're talking about different culture-specific regions, Asian people, Eastern Asian, their views are holistic. Like they like conformity. They not necessarily like conformity, but it's like
they're
in
fine
China,
with it.
it's like there's so many people that you have to be better than that person, so you just fall in line and you just conform and you'll have a good life.
Right.
And then in North American society, every time we go to school, what's the first thing they tell you? Think outside the box. Don't be a fucking plank. Be someone.
Get in line.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of the same thing. We have like this analytical way of thinking in North America compared to the holistic thinking of like collectivism in Eastern Asia, right? But that kind of ties into is like at the end of the day, we're kind of prone to conformity too. Like
Oh yeah, I think
like
anyone is.
like I'm all for masks. Big topic right now is like if you want to wear a mask or not, and if you're a sheep,
boy.
right? It's like
Oh boy, that's good.
like people are like, oh, if I wear a mask, there's two schools of thoughts. One, to protect others, and then two, I'm a sheep, I'm wearing a mask, right? But either way, you're conforming in a certain way, right? There's normative social influence, and then
There's the social,
and then there's the other social influence where you publicly want to say that you're wearing a mask, but you privately don't believe that masks do anything. And then there's the other influence, which is like safety, Dr. Bonnie Henry, wear a mask, blah, 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 do this, right? But either way, you're still conforming because you're not allowed to go into certain places without a mask. Depending on if your public or private beliefs are that you wear a mask because you're safe, doesn't matter, you're still going to wear a mask, right? There is a degree of conformity in North American society that everyone follows. Like, we all follow it.
In order to fit the social norm, that's the fucking rules that we have to live by.
And that's what I mean. It all ties back to cult leaders making people do certain things. It isn't actually that crazy. It's not a weird phenomenon. It's life. Like, if your only thing in that environment is listening to someone who has the answers, what the fuck are you gonna do? Listen to another person? Like, no, you're in that situation.
Yeah, it's not
a weird thing.
It's not super crazy for me to believe that this happens to people at all. It's crazy for me to believe that when like people get out of it and they have like the survivor stories to tell, that's more crazy to me because it's kind of like they went into it not as one of those people that were actually going to fully become a cult member, so it kind of like separates them a little bit, and that's really interesting to me because it's like, how was that person able to separate and these people weren't, if we're going to put all of these people into the same category?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but when we were talking about the murder shows and stuff, I just wanted to say, for me personally, when I watch those shows about serial killers, murder victims, fucking True Detective Matthew McConaughey, it's like a release for me.
Yep.
Like, I get to see that shit happen, and it's like, okay, you know, I can be aware of that shit happening and be aware of that happening within people, just their psyche or whatever, and I don't need to witness it firsthand. You know?
Yeah,
I can see it happening and see it from a distance and be like, oh, okay, that exists, and maybe not suck myself into kind of that way of thinking. I can see it.
If
and
I can watch
differentiate.
someone else murder, I don't have to murder myself.
Well, I think the reason why, like,
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
we're
we
so
ain't bleeping shit.
we're so
We're
into
stopping
it
this shit in an
because,
hour and 5 minutes. There's no way we're doing that.
Yeah, but I think we're so into it though because, like, for example, there's some people like Ted Bundy, where like the reason why I think he started to go into the mindset that he did was because of the fact that like I think he was like beaten up as a kid or something like that, right? Like,
Nah,
he was
who
abused.
wasn't?
Like, but like here's the thing, it was different for him. Like, I think he was like actually not punished, but like physically beaten.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
can you say that?
And then he
that's-
started cutting up cats and shit, and then
that's
you
not
know.
yeah.
I don't know too much about the Ted Bundy one. I haven't seen the Zac Efron
Yeah.
movie.
It seems kind of fucked, but
I know he was like incredibly charismatic and like really good with people.
The
And then he
only
murdered them.
The only thing I know about the Ted Bundy murder is that, yeah, he was charismatic, and in an interview at the end where he was talking about, he was being interviewed by the police or the feds or whatever about the murders, he was so charismatic that when he was talking about them, even though he was at, you know, that spot in the room where there's two feds questioning him, it felt like he was in control of the conversation and the flow and everything, and he just kind of like took over, and he started asking questions about, you know, kind of what they thought, and it seemed like he wasn't the person that they thought he was at all.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just because he
That's
was
who
able
he
to
was.
play that fucking. I don't even know if it's playing that other side. It's just being, you know, like intelligent and knowing how to like emotionally manipulate people in a conversation. I don't feel like there's any big like he was on the spectrum. He was some kind of fucking genius. He knew how to manipulate women in another way.
Well, there is like a factor of antisocial personality sort of taking place there. Like that is the definition of it.
Yeah, but you can't be antisocial unless you fucking have some kind of resentment towards being social. So it's just like you either lack or you either fulfilled something or you didn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's two sides to it. Shane, I don't really know what your argument was there, but like you're kind of saying that like fucking.
I was
To
agreeing
in-
with him. I wasn't really arguing.
No. What was your argument though? Because you're saying that to indulge.
I was saying for
And-
me it was a release.
Yeah, exactly. It is a release, but what my argument was saying is that it's a fucking release of exactly the same emotion as like in a way you agree with what's happening. You know what I mean? You indulge in something
Yeah.
through the actions of another,
Yeah.
and then you absolve yourself of sin, but you still agree with what's happening if you indulge in it.
I don't feel like indulgence
It- like, wait, like, do you mean, like-
necessarily
The
justifies.
release is coming from something completely different. I think what he's saying is that when you look at someone who is getting away with something, it's kind of interesting, and it's kind of like you kind of root for them because it's not happening to you.
I'm not feeling personal
Yeah,
vindication.
it's like
Yeah,
you want to
that's
see
a
how
great
far
excuse,
you want to
though.
see how far they can
See what I'm saying?
You want to see how far
It's
they
not
can
me,
up.
but I'm gonna enjoy.
But that's
watching
what I
this
mean. Like,
happen.
don't you like it when some guy's like against
Might as
all
well be
odds,
you,
and
then.
you're just like, oh yeah, say someone's fucking scamming someone over a long course of time, right? And he's just like constantly giving these scams, and he's just fucking everyone over, housing market, whatever, blah blah blah. You kind of root for him because he's getting away, and you think the people who he scams are dumb idiots, right? But it can happen to us. But you root for him because it's not happening to you. As soon as it happens to you, you stop rooting for it, right? Like, why would you root for something that you've been a part of? You wouldn't.
That's my fucking question to you guys. You know what I mean? It's like why agree with something that you would that you think is awful? Why agree with it in third person?
It's human
You know
nature.
what I mean? No, I'm saying I think that's not human nature. I think that's just fucking like you either
why are
make
you
the
saying
choice
agree?
in your own mind.
Why
or
are you
don't.
saying agree when I'm trying to watch a fucking show and feel some release?
Just
on
trying
the
to feel a
outside?
rush.
Well, because I think that's what sells those fucking ideas. I think that's why those ideas are so prevalent, and I think that's why people fucking get hooked on those things is because you think it's a release, you know what I mean? You think that doesn't apply to you. You think that, and I think that in a lot of ways, what you think is ultimately what matters, you know what I mean? It's not what you do, because circumstantially, if you agree so much, then what kind of control do you have if you were put in that circumstance? What kind of person are you defined by? Given the lack of experience of the thing, why indulge in something in third person in the way that you wouldn't want to? Doesn't it matter how you think about things? You know what I mean?
I feel like my psyche is strong enough that when I watch something, I cannot kind of be like, oh, what am I getting from this? And I can just take it at like complete face value.
Yeah.
I know, but isn't that how they're fucking selling you the thing?
I feel like a lot of it's so. I mean maybe, but a lot of it is what gets hooked on me is that the true event stuff. That's what really gets me. I don't really like it's blown out of proportion.
It's a
really
difference between
fuck stories. The true events is hooking because it actually happened and there's realness to it. It's not necessarily like I'm siding with the serial killer. You know, sometimes I'm just like watching it because I'm curious as to seeing, you know, the thought process behind the detectives trying to figure out the case. Yeah. And I don't think I'm agreeing with what's going on because I'm watching it, but I can see there's like is personal satisfaction from seeing that kind of stuff happen and seeing him being caught, and then from watching it happen from a third party perspective, I don't question at all why I enjoy that, or like how in the show it hooks me and grips me by telling me these stories and then me finding, you know, personal satisfaction or whatever in those stories. I don't think about that at all.
It's historical nonfiction, like that's why you like it.
Yeah.
You know that's why Don't Fuck with Cats is so good. You know, you told me to watch Don't Fuck with Cats. I finally watched it.
I don't think ignorance.
It's so fucking good. But that's because it's real, you know. Have you seen
Yo, we
have you
talked
seen
about this on the podcast.
what's it called? Have you seen
Hear anybody?
The Den?
Sure. Not the Den.
Yo, Mantis, I have a pale ale in the fridge. It's a Steamworks. If you could grab that for me.
The Zodiac Killer with Mark.
Oh, bro,
Yeah.
bro, I want to watch that, man.
Yo,
oh,
watch
shit,
it.
it looks
It's so good.
good.
Robert Downey
There's
Jr.'s in it too.
There's an old TV show.
Rough End?
Yeah.
There's an old
Dude,
TV show.
right?
like Zodiac Killer.
Prior to fucking Avengers. But no, it's a really good movie.
It used to be on Showcase or TLC, and it was a running show, and it was really good. My mom used to watch it, and I remember watching it and thinking it was probably one of the OG serial killer shows that kind of, I would say, got me into that genre.
The Zodiac Killer one?
Yeah, because there's a whole, the way they tell the story through behind like
and Jake
it,
Gyllenhaal.
piece by piece, and like what the detectives think of what's going on, and then fucking getting this piece of information and it leading them there, and then it kind of seeming like the killer stringing them along. It's crazy.
Right. Ah, yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal's fucking Marvel too, isn't he? Well, was.
Oh shit!
Oh no, it still is.
What?
No, he died.
Jake Gyllenhaal did not die, bro.
No, we're talking about in the
Marvel.
Oh, okay. I was.
You didn't hear yesterday?
I was like, you're shitting me. No, please.
Dude, that'd be so sad.
It's got like 20 more movies, man.
Yeah, right?
Nightcrawler
You like-
fucking bang.
These are the breadsticks we used to have at Brown's.
You know what?
Really, it was the same as the Crazy Bread?
It's the same ones.
Are they? Oh,
Yeah, it's the same brand.
They're a lot less.
No
crazy.
way.
They serve them like fresh or something, but
They're just
like
a
Browns where you keep them online with the bag open.
No, Jared would eat them all.
Leave him on the tray, pop him in for 30 seconds when he needed.
Dude,
No, honestly,
I remember
like,
takes a bite of a cold one. No, this is shit.
Yeah,
I remember there was one time where like I had like one breadstick left on the thing,
Shit was so funny.
and I was literally going to use it for a cowboy, and I went to turn around to grab it, and Jared just comes and swoops
in
in.
his
I'm
mouth?
like, Jared, I need that. He's like, no, fuck you, Spencer. I'm like,
On your body.
I hate you, Jared. Fuck you.
The new manager's like that. He eats everything online. Comes in, croutons. Oh, croutons.
Oh, fucking Lee?
Is that the guy that looks like Brother Jared?
Yes! Yes, bro, it is!
Okay,
Nice, man.
It's
Nice,
fucking
bro.
Beach. Yeah.
Bro, he's actually hilarious.
Dude, he is
solid.
awesome.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
He's awesome. He introduced himself. He said Lee, but he said it not an Asian accent. And I was like, what? He's like, like Bruce Lee. And I was like, I know exactly what you got. I'll never forget your name.
Lee, come on, Rook.
Bobby Rook, I'm American. Debit or credit?
Credit card.
Oh, dude, I swear to God, that guy's actually black.
Yeah, straight.
What, dude? What?
What?
No. I'm being
Lee or
legit.
Bobby?
No, not Lee. The guy we're referencing
He's
in the
not
video.
black.
No. That guy, that Asian guy. Are you referencing the
Yeah,
fucking-
I know.
Okay, that guy's black, bro. I swear to God. I swear to God, bro.
He's a Blasian.
black.
So fucking, I think we should take this opportunity to talk about,
Transition.
given the fact that this is the day after one of our members has had a
Baby. Congratulations.
baby, yeah.
Yeah.
We should talk about fucking what it's like dating in 2020
Oh yeah.
for you single boys.
Yeah. What's it like
Pretty uneventful.
trusting someone?
Yeah, well,
No,
because
well-
this is actually a pertinent conversation because you guys are all on the market.
Well, I'm not.
Well, no, what's
Well,
interesting is because
Michael.
this actually works perfect
I
because
mean, Michael.
yeah, this actually works perfect because
Give me a break.
well, I
Not
worked.
an open
I
relationship.
literally just went on a date like last night, so this is like perfect.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
Parents
you.
must be so proud. I don't
Yeah.
mind ours.
Anyways,
She's a minority.
but no, so it was interesting because it seems like a lot of people are doing, especially because of COVID, a lot of online dating has like increased significantly. So like that's kind of
You met her on Tinder, didn't you?
no, actually it was Hinge.
It was. It was what?
Hinge.
Better on Wish.
What?
Give me $3.
Give me an amazing review.
Okay, wait, so you met her on Hinge?
Yeah, met her on Hinge.
Okay,
and we were
for the boomers out there, what's Hinge?
Yeah, what
So
is it?
Hinge-
I don't even know what Hinge
I have
is.
no,
Hinge,
no
Hinge
idea.
is like it's
Is that like
dating-
Grindr? Is it a dude?
Similar.
This is-
But anyway, so essentially what it is, it's
Don't have to call him out like that.
but it's so essentially like the way it works is that like you set up after you set up your profile,
Your
blah,
little
blah, blah.
fucking
Yeah.
couple pictures in our
So-
bio.
Well, like it also has these things that like I don't remember what they're called, but essentially like it will ask you like a question like on just as an example.
Stroke victim.
It will be like in my spare time I like to do, and then you put down the things that you like to do in your spare time.
Masturbation.
So what do
Yeah.
you put?
So
Masturbation.
for
I like to take long walks on the beach.
I like to sex with the sex.
I like sex. It's so nice. So nice. I bond. But anyway, I was talking to this girl and
They match you up for your
well,
hobbies?
so the way it works is that like you say for example you see something like that like oh I love for example the food my favorite food is say
Adventures.
Little Caesars.
it's
My
Little
favorite
Caesars,
food
and
is
then like
masala.
someone would comment on your thing like, "Oh my God, I love Little Caesars. Have you like blah 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 blah."
That's where it's come to now?
yeah.
That's so sad, bro.
But anyways, no.
not for
so-
not you, but I'm just
No,
saying.
wow, but like in
Fucking
general, yeah.
Little Caesars
They
was
give
not
you
an
a
example.
fucking icebreaker, man. What happened to giving people your own icebreaker?
Well, no, what it was. I think the thing,
They got
the
too
problem
raunchy.
with because funny enough, the guy who made Hinge used to create or worked on Tinder. So so he didn't kind of like the way the algorithm worked because the problem is you just with Tinder. You good?
It was him. He worked on Hinge.
So he used to. Anyways, so the guy didn't like the way where essentially the main concept was just swipe, 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 swipe. He believed in he wanted people to kind of engage with everyone more instead of just swipe, 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 swipe. So he made that algorithm for Hinge, and then for me now, I was talking to her, and then like we decided to meet up and everything like that. And when we first met, we were wearing masks. And then, like, so we met in a restaurant, like, just kind of, it's, open public area. And so we sat down, we took our masks off, and we were chatting.
Were you surprised when the mask came off?
She had sick mouths. I didn't know how to react.
She only had 2 teeth.
Didn't show it in
6
her
mouths,
profile.
2 teeth? I don't like that ratio.
Bad ratio.
But anyway, so, no, she was actually really, really nice. I think it went, like, really well. We talked, honestly, about a lot of stuff. Like, we talked about, like, like,
You freak it?
like what we were doing, like during, like kind of how we've both been dealing with COVID and like how like what we do in our spare time, what we enjoy. You know, she was talking about stuff like, you good, Shane? He's sad about something. He's very sad. We don't know why. Anyway, so like we were talking about a lot of stuff, and then after like after the bill was paid and everything, and
Did you pay?
yeah, I paid.
Was there a goddamn spark, Spencer?
No, I think there was because
There's
like
love in the air.
well because
Did you grab her by her hips?
Did you grab her by her nips?
her hips, her nips, her tits. Anyways,
Whoa.
What was the flavor of the lips? The ones between her hips?
Wait, what? What?
Tasted like shit.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's good. That's
I could
fucking
taste the
awesome.
donut.
It tastes like shit. I think you're rimming her, bro.
But no, it was interesting because like then after that we kind of walked around, talked some more, and everything like that. So it didn't feel like much changed, like compared to like before COVID. It felt very similar. The only difference was that like instead of like meeting her and like in the way of greeting, just being like, oh hi, like go for the hug. You're just kind of like, hi, like
Shut
you know,
up.
maybe give like an elbow or something like that.
Give her that high five.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Friend.
But yeah, like it was.
He use Nikes. Yeah, but Shane, let's hear your fucking opinion of dating apps then.
Let me.
Like you're the other single.
You gotta make sure that you're kind of holding.
I'm probably
right?
gonna just use the key.
Or you can do that too.
He's an old school.
Okay, I'm old school.
Anyway, so it's interesting. It's just kind of different, but not much has changed, if that makes sense. And like even when we were kind of walking, like we weren't really like social distancing, just because like of the fact that like we both, you know, I mean, we wouldn't really be meeting up if we felt sick. So you know, we were kind of being safe in that sense, and of course wearing the mask and stuff like that. So we weren't social distancing, but I mean, again, we were fine. So it just So I don't think much has changed, but I know there are probably some people out there that like who are meeting from online and like social distancing, wearing the masks, you know, kind of keeping their distance and stuff, but like still interacting.
That's so hard though to know like what they're really like, given the fact that you meet them that way.
Yeah.
That's why
It's
I've
such
never
a blank page.
I've never met anyone. I've never owned like a Tinder account, like, but I've never been on a first date. It's kind of just been like, oh, you've been friends with this person for such a long time. Oh my, like what happened? Like, oh yeah, now we're dating.
Now we fuck.
Now we're dads.
Which is the
I've
best
never,
way
That's
to go
yeah,
about
it's
it.
kind of
Yeah,
natural.
no.
It's kind of like you fall into it, right? But like,
yeah, you already
I've never
know.
actually been on like, oh, I met
This
you
is
at a
our
bar.
Yeah.
Here's my number. You know what I mean? Like I've never actually been on a first date,
Mhm.
so I wouldn't even know where to start or how to judge
Yeah.
if it would be different or
It's
not.
a little bit awkward, man.
Is it?
I think you can't fucking take that out of it.
Well, you can, but like it can be awkward very easily.
I think you gotta just like change it up. Like the stereotypical date is just like go to like a restaurant or something. You gotta change it up, man.
Yeah.
You gotta like fucking just drive around or something. Or just like go
Well, that
like,
was actually one thing-
skydiving.
That was
Such
actually
a
one thing
sick
that
first
like
date.
sold me right away was when her and I were talking. She was like, yeah, one thing I really enjoy doing is like going out for long drives. I'm like, sold.
Yeah.
You got me right there, like, you know. And then like even her and I were talking today, and I was like, hey, just out of weird curiosity, do you smoke weed? She's like, yeah, I smoke weed all the time. I'm like, yes, like you know, very nice, but.
I have a podcast.
Right? Okay.
Was there any like red flags, black flags, green flags,
Blue flags.
blue flags?
No, honestly, like she seemed very like chill and genuine, and like she just seemed like she was very high energy, and I think that's something that's like really nice to have, like, or even just to kind of be around. Like, sure, don't get me wrong, sometimes it's okay to kind of like mellow out and chill and stuff, but just kind of having that high energy times kind of gets your energy going, and that like works out perfect.
Yeah, but it can also very easily piss you off after like.
Oh
a
yeah,
month or
no,
two.
fair enough. Yeah, that's
Depends
true.
who you are.
Yeah, it depends on your personality completely, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I've only ever dated like introverted girls. Like I don't think I've ever dated like I think I've dated like 2 extroverted girls.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's like kind of like for me, I'm not an extrovert. I'm not an introvert either. But I kind of
You're
get like
kind of in the middle.
I kind of get drained out by like super social
No,
interactions.
same.
Where it's like if I'm like
Yeah, me too.
if I'm like at a party for longer than like an hour and a half, I'll be like,
my
I go
battery will be depleted. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'll be like, man.
Well, I mean, the
Fuck
thing
this.
is, you gotta fucking
Fucking pussy.
if you.
I bought you.
I
brought my charger.
Once you actually start to enjoy something, it should give you energy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
100%.
I get energy from different like, I don't know. It depends who you're with. Like, if I'm at work, for some reason, I get like a lot of energy. Just being depends who I'm working with, right? Like,
Yeah.
depending who
With
you're
your
around.
boys.
If you're with
Having
the
a
boys,
great
it's
yeah.
just
time.
like it's like the best time ever. It's like
100%.
you're still working, but it's like it's nice. But if you're working in the morning, you're working with like, you know who, and you're working with the boys. You're just like, oh
You know
man, I'm
that shit?
drained, bro.
Yeah, it's
Just
like
talked
every-
about this. We just talked about this.
Yeah, when you strain yourself not saying stuff a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's rough.
it's weird. Yeah, I don't know where to pinpoint myself on the spectrum. Extrovert, introvert. I don't know. Man.
Well, you don't need a distinction.
Yeah, it's like I'm pretty social, but I do need like at least a couple
That
hours of
recharging
alone
time,
time
yeah,
every
100%.
night. Just like
I see
hide-
you. I see you as like an extrovert.
Really?
Yeah, you're a very extroverted guy.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Because I need like at least a couple hours to just be by myself and just fucking.
Mhm.
I agree.
Unload
I think
every
everyone
day.
does to an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
See,
it.
like that was the thing. Like
You either understand how or you don't think you need it.
Yeah.
I'd
See,
say
like-
I'm an introvert who forced myself to be an extrovert.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See,
It's
like,
a product of reality.
Yeah.
See, like I think, like for example, with my ex, she like her and I got along with her just fine. We never had problems, but like there were times where like I just wanted to be by myself and like hang out with the guys, like talk to the guys, and like she always be like texting me and stuff. And it's like, can you like fuck off for 5 minutes? Like it'd be good if you can shut up, like you know, like. It's like you know, I'm trying to talk to the guys, like talking about some funny shit, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Hey, how's your day going?" It's like, "Fuck you, shut up!" Like you know,
I think that's a pretty big indicator that you're with the
Russia,
wrong
eh?
person.
Yeah.
Like when I found
when
like
you get aggravated.
when you're just like, oh, I'd prefer to be alone more times than I prefer to be with you. That's like the biggest indicator that you're just like
Dude,
not that
if you're
into
with
it.
the wrong
Yeah.
person, it's just like it's still like a matter of choice. Like you can choose to be with whatever kind of person you want. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, unless you married him.
Yeah,
then you're stuck with
Then you're
them.
fucked.
If you made the wrong choice. You made the wrong
Yeah.
choice.
that's what
But
a lot of people like
what I'm saying is
marry
like,
their high school
you can be
sweethearts
with
and
the
then
right
hate them
person
in their
at
30s.
30.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what I mean?
exactly, yeah. And then they
Oh,
get divorced,
also-
2 kids, you know, the husband's lost all of his shit because she's taking it, and then, you know,
So
Lost his
like,
dignity.
Fucking the
how much,
mailman.
how much
Yeah.
pussy did you slay in high school? Like enough to satisfy your hunger? Probably not. You're cheating on that.
No,
man.
honestly.
yeah, 100%.
I mean, didn't satisfy mine. Tell you that much.
I got lucky one time in like grade 9 that there was like a dry spell for a little bit until like grade 11, and I was like, I'm back in the game.
Let's go, boys.
Then I kind of settled down a little
Do
bit.
do do do.
It's grade 9. That's pretty young.
Dude, I was like, I got really like, there's like this,
Get the
I don't even know if I should be saying
get the
this,
pop
but
off performance.
there's this one girl, you know the one girl who's like, promiscuous girl, and she's back promiscuous.
Yeah.
And they're like, I was like Eskimo brothers with a lot of my friends.
Oh god.
You know what I mean? Like, there was that one girl,
Yeah.
kind of got lucky.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
It was like a 6.
The one who would like bounce through everyone in one friend group.
With like the ping
And
pong
then
ball.
yeah, exactly.
And then it happened to
Like a game of
half past
pinball.
11, and I was like, oh shit, it's my turn. I'm up.
It's my,
I'm up to bat.
it's my,
Hey, yo, talk about
Yeah.
it's like, it's like tag me.
But
more.
dude, when you're in grade 9 and like first relationship you ever have, it's so fucking weird. It's so foreign because you're still like
Yeah.
you're still such a bitch.
You're like, bro, that,
Yeah.
that was the best, but the girls at that time, I'm not saying, oh, Jesus Christ, that was the best. The girls at the time also didn't really fucking know what they wanted, right? So
Yeah,
they were,
right.
they were trying to be like, oh, okay, like, this is what I want. But if you were
Yeah,
just
right.
like, no, this is what you want, a lot of them bought it.
Yeah, man.
A lot of them.
Like that's like you learn, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Don't get manipulated
Yeah.
by these young hoes pulling you around by your cock.
straight up.
Straight
Don't
up,
be
bro.
paying for their
Straight
credit card bills.
Straight up
Don't
to-
be simping.
Michael Jackson said, fucking, you know, don't be going around breaking these young girls' hearts. But don't
think,
be going out getting your heart broken, homies.
Didn't
Alright.
Matthew McConaughey
So,
say that?
king,
Like all you
yeah.
5'11" kings out there.
Matthew McConaughey said
I don't
that?
think Michael Jackson might have said,
yeah, be fucking around with these 5-year-olds. I don't think Matthew McConaughey.
No, that's from the song. He was quoting this.
I was quoting
Billie Jean.
Oh,
yeah. Don't be going around picking these young girls. Ha.
yeah, young girls hearts, not young girls.
So that's what I mean. Don't be
young.
Yeah,
Like,
like Pretty Young Thing is a whole new meaning.
Yeah,
Okay, Jesus Christ, guys.
She's 4.
No.
She's 2 years old. She's underage. Pretty young thing. She's 12.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's
If you really listen to the
According to
lyrics.
Gertrude.
No, if you listen to the lyrics, you can really tell.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Once you just sing.
I hold dominion over this soul. Michael Jackson, please.
Stop.
I got to get away. I got to run.
What a
Yeah,
dark.
apparently Tainted Love is about fucking loving a
Tainted.
minor.
Oh.
Yeah.
A dirty underground miner.
Yeah, I'm gonna search up the lyrics real quick. Jamie, get the
Yeah,
lyrics up.
because fucking, I was talking to her. She was like, "Do you like that song?" I was like, "I like the Marilyn Manson version." She was like, "Yeah,
Oh
no,
my
no wonder
God.
I covered it." And
Yeah,
I was just
that's
like,
what I said.
"Oh god."
That's fuck.
You been using that disc?
It's by a
This
band
disc
called
is
Soft
so
Cell.
good.
Yeah,
That's good,
it
eh?
is. It's literally.
Yeah, I got it back in
popular
Memphis. I
song.
traded it to him.
Dude, I thought
Traded
I always
back.
thought that was
Which
by
one's
fucking
that one's the mid range, right?
Golden East.
Just show him the lift it.
Well, you just wait.
I was not gonna
Dump it.
lift it
That's
it
the-
horizontal.
It's fucking
64,
sketchy, man.
latitude 64.
I don't
Yeah, it's it's west side, but it's like
Is it West Side?
Yeah.
Stop fucking getting him antsy about the desk.
I want to see the video.
It's called the Worship. It's
Wait.
pretty nice. It looks like your mid range.
Oh, it's not the same one?
No, it's different, but they're all the same.
They're all the same at the end of the day.
Very similar, at least.
Yeah, the lyrics are pretty fucked up if you actually read them through.
Yeah, dude.
It starts. Sometimes I feel like I've got to run away, got to get away from the pain you drive into the heart of me. The love we share seems to go nowhere.
Should have known love
And
is because she's 12.
There's a reason it's
Wait.
tainted.
It's the taint. Tainted cooch.
It's like that.
Tainted
Oh,
cool.
tainted
Cooch, I've got to
Run
Tainted
away
cooch.
from this
tainted cooch.
I've got to get out.
Tainted
Shut up!
cooch.
Jesus Christ!
Johnson something.
Johnson.
Mantis, it's your landlord. I heard you guys are talking about young kids. I wanted to come over.
See what's going on.
Right,
I
right
wanted
up my
to come
alley.
over and see where the young kids were.
I knew I heard some kids. Run away.
So my social circle though when it comes to dating has become very small. I was
Hose.
Are you on the market?
yeah, I was working for a little bit, 7 days a week, and then I stopped.
Yeah, that's fucked.
And then I was like, I'm gonna not do that. And then I was still just working. Then I went back to working 5 days a week. Was gonna hop on all that online dating because I recently became single, and I just haven't done it yet. I've been just like grinding, working hard. Got
Grinding?
actually back into working out recently. Back on that like 3-day-a-week train, not just
Nice.
like once a week, feeling good about myself. And that plus the new work environment has kind of dominated all of my time.
Are you still at the concrete?
Yeah, I
Business?
work with a company called Pacific Site Concrete, but fucking I just work like at a rock crushing quarry.
Is that where you fucked your tire? I saw that.
Yeah.
Did you get that fixed?
Shane, you want to talk about that?
What happened?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Did you get like a hole in it?
Yeah, I just got a hole. It's fine. It's sorted.
It's-
But,
It's sorted.
Yeah.
it was
As long as it's on the tread.
it's
Michael.
it's but yeah, no.
Spare.
It's pretty good. I like see lots of frogs, and I saw a double rainbow one time. Yeah, I didn't get to take a picture though, because I fucking don't bring my phone. And the one time I did bring my phone, because I'm getting a little bit better at my job, so I'm feeling comfortable bringing my phone around. Fucking
That's how it always starts.
one of the guys from my employer from Browns messaged me, and I was like, "Who this?" 'Cause I didn't have his number saved.
Hey, it's me, Sunga.
hey, it's me here. Thursday, Friday. Can you come in? And then and they called me, and I was like, "Yeah, I can't talk right now. I'm I'm busy at work. And then he was like, tells me who it is. I was like, oh, probably shouldn't have said that. And then
It's like I'm definitely busy.
and then he fucking, I've been working a little bit of rounds, a little bit of the other plays, just haven't been hitting up that online dating. But I'm going to, and I hit it up a little bit when I was in high school, and I'm excited to get back on it, bro. It was good times, bro. When Tinder first came out, bro, bitches were putting out. It was crazy. It was like one page of conversation, and you're getting addresses.
Dude, and
so
Tinder's not about dating, man. It's about fucking. Like,
Yeah.
But
And I'm excited to not be in a relationship worried about like I gotta have a whole night planned. Like I gotta get 2 things planned, and one of those is fucking how my balls look.
Like,
so, I'm feeling really good about having those kind of thoughts.
But I
again,
think I think to be honest, though, Tinder has like
Smooth
changed
as eggs.
drastically versus like when it first
There's
came
gotta
out
be an
versus like
evolution
now.
on that.
Because like I think it's definitely changed because like when it first came out, everyone was fucking somebody. Like but nowadays it seems like the way it works is that like it's been kind of proven that like Tinder really actually lowers a man's kind of like confidence in himself because like it's not very often like guys actually get matches on Tinder. Like for the average, even like decent looking guys, most of the time they'll get like maybe 1 or 2 like matches max. That's it. And I'm talking like maybe like a month.
Yeah, dude.
That's it.
The feminist kind of movement has moved to it's not even feminism anymore. It's more like girls empowering themselves with their bodies, kind of way.
It's kind
It's
not
so-
empowering
dude,
at all.
It's like
They're out easy.
They're moving. They're moving.
I got a wet ass
backwards.
pussy.
They're,
It makes me feel good about
they're
myself.
moving backwards so many steps, and it's like I respect where feminism's at, but right now with TikTok,
That's not feminine.
it's not feminism,
No,
dude.
it's not.
And
It's
they
portrayed as feminism.
like they
Girl,
they-
whoever takes part in that just wants to
I got a
fucking
wet ass
yeah,
pussy. I'm
think
so
of
great.
themselves like a fucking man. You know what I mean?
Like,
Like
they're-
empower themselves, but like
it's the social media aspect of it that is so like toxic to like females, in which they think that to be anything in society they have to show like their boobs, and they have to like do all these TikTok dances, and then there's like these trends where just like literally the whole part of the trend is just to reveal your body.
This
And
is
it's like, bro, you don't understand how much power you hold by having those
In
parts
between those
in general. Like, you know what's better than showing them off? Not concealing them. Yeah, I think that girls should be able to wear whatever they
respecting
want.
yourself and
Yeah,
Yeah,
wear
yeah,
whatever they want.
making them
But you
worth
know,
what
you know
they're
how
worth,
much
you know what
power.
I mean?
You
Not
know how
just
much
giving
power
it
they
out
hold
for
in
free.
general for having those things. In like, anyways, they hold so much power over men.
You
That
took
they,
that from
they
the
should be
Kim's
going
playbook,
from a
you
different.
son of a
They
bitch.
should be attacking at a different angle. They shouldn't be showing it. They should be not revealing. I don't want to say like girls should be wearing a certain thing. I think
Jobs.
they. I think they should
To
just be
quote
like.
Dave Chappelle, if pussy was a stock, it'd be plummeting right now.
Hey,
We're being desensitized. We're
Yeah.
being desensitized. Everyone's seeing the same fucking blonde chick on TikTok showing her fucking dance,
selling that
and
back.
you're just like, bro, I've seen this so many times already that I'm just getting like, not bored. You're just like,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. Like, there's no selection anymore. It's
Well,
like,
what's interesting is the fact that like I think
yeah, dude.
people are profiting off
it's
them.
interesting culturally how different it is like compared
the
to like
females are
when you
now.
live here
Yeah.
like in Canada and
But,
the
like,
US versus like if
Males
you
are
go
still
to like
profiting off them.
yeah, but like it's totally different based on like where you live. Like if you live in the US and Canada, like usually they tell like girls don't show your tits, be respected, like treat your respect and everything like
Wait,
that.
who says
Like,
that? The government?
They can wear whatever they
No,
want.
but, like,
they can
but-
wear whatever they want.
yeah.
I'm just saying that.
But I also mean like for example when you go to Germany, like if you go to a beach, most likely here, you're not going to see like a lot of nudists or whatever. But you go to like Germany, for
Yeah,
example,
there's
you
nude
see a lot of
beaches
girls with like their tits out. They don't give two
yeah,
fucks.
but
Like,
it's,
you know,
it's a
remember-
different
That's-
culture.
that's
yeah,
where
totally
that's where
different
you're
culture,
that's where
yeah.
you're
I went to a nude beach in Germany when I was
Not
like
that weird,
six.
is it?
I was like 7, 8 years old, and I had no idea it was a nude beach. I just saw some guys tattooed nuts, and I was very,
His
very
nuts were tattooed.
tattooed his nuts, bro.
Oh
and
my
his cock.
god!
And his cock. Yeah, dude.
I've actually dreamed of that.
It's
you
real.
want that?
It's a real thing.
What kind of
Dave
design
Chappelle
can you
said
get
he
on
wants
your
his
Yeah.
face on his nuts, and I'll be damned if I don't make that a reality. Imagine
two angry
me mugging
gangsta
you
thing.
while you're sucking my dick. Imagine.
Just like
69 position, still looking at you. Dead ass.
Yeah,
You're
like,
fucking amazing, bro.
Okay, well, what were you saying, Spencer?
anyway, sorry for
I don't
interrupting.
even. Well, I think just like
Sorry.
what Michael and Lucas said, like it's totally based on culture because like for Europe they've kind of like desensitized like breasts.
You got Johnson swinging everywhere.
Yeah, they don't care.
But
Like,
that's a desensitization that almost works better because for North American society, it's like we're being sold not their bodies, but we're being sold the products they're wearing.
yeah.
Like what they're wearing is very revealing, but they're wearing Prada, they're wearing Dior, they're wearing
Gucci.
all these like brands that all these 16-year-olds are like, Mom, I have to get a Calvin Klein bra now because I have to make a TikTok dance,
Oh,
right?
that shit was
And they're like, it's so weird because you can see this feminist movement has gone to a place where the self is now monetizable. Your self is completely
Yeah.
Yeah, like OnlyFans.
Being
Corrupt.
capitalism,
completely
pure
corrupted.
capitalism, right? Like neoliberalism, like we're fucked to the point where it's like our like social media accounts, you can be sponsored. Like you can get
Yeah.
sponsored and shit. Like that's you. You are
Yeah.
not a monetizable asset. You shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You should be making
I mean,
money with other means. But now it's like girls are like, oh my god, I'm like a Gymshark model, but I'm not that fit. I go to the gym maybe twice a week. I just have a naturally good body. But Gymshark sponsored me, so I got free Gymshark shit. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to be a Gymshark model, you have to be hot, and you have to be.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
And
Like,
that's it.
That's it. You don't have to have
Okay.
personality or
And
anything.
you have
You
to
just have to have a.
bro. The amount of
Yeah.
guy Gymshark
Straight up.
fucking models
And
is
you
like
need
3
you need that Instagram clout. You need like over. It's like why is there a criteria for that? Like you should be focusing on athletes, not influencers.
Yeah.
It's because companies have realized
Influence
that they
yourself.
can just get fucking
Yeah,
anybody
Ronnie Coleman.
who is attractive. They're gonna get attention on social media. They'll sell everything for you.
Yeah, no, straight up.
Yeah,
It's
Ronnie
fucked.
Coleman.
We're going into a place where dark
It's
time.
like people don't give a fuck about.
And also, it's good for the companies though, because they don't have to pay like
No,
athletes or anything.
Yeah, it's
They
great.
just
They-
just
they-
pay
they-
hot
It's
chicks.
the
passive.
massive
It's
problem.
passive income for them. They just hire a bunch of fucking
But that's
models.
the thing is that like nowadays, you know what I mean? Like as far as self-respect goes, and like you know what I mean, like people being themselves. No, what it comes down to is a world where everything's always fucking great for the companies. You know what I mean?
Dude, 100%. There's a quote.
And then people just fucking like you were saying about conformity, conform to that.
There's a
It's
quote.
like how about just define yourself outside of what the fuck.
It's feminism that prioritizes the self is way less meaningful than
I wouldn't even call
than
it feminism at
that's
this point.
but it's to a degree it's what feminism is like.
Yeah.
You want to be like an empowered woman who's equal to men, right? But if you're doing it for yourself, the movement's completely gone.
Yeah.
Like the feminism is for the whole female species. It's for them. It's not for
Divide
you.
and conquer, man. Like,
It's not for you,
Everything
it's for
is
them.
getting divided.
It's for your future kids. It's for your
Feminism
family.
is
Yeah.
Now it's like if
Now it's for
fucking
you. It's a
people-
monetizable asset. It's
Yeah,
you. It's like, oh, I'm an empowered like bad bitch. I can do whatever I want. It's like, I got a wet ass pussy. It's like, the fuck. What are you talking about? Like,
exactly.
That
It's
also is because of the like what we were talking about with Instagram, like the dopamine rewards given to these
Yeah.
young girls because they see, you know,
instant gratification.
Cardi B or these influencers that fucking have their fucking
But it's also
subscriptions
toxic.
to Gymshark.
It's
you
also
know?
so toxic, man. Have you seen
Yeah.
the comments on those girls like posts? Like, it's not even guys. It's girls like trashing them other girls. It's the
Yeah,
opposite
that's
of
the thing.
feminism.
Yeah,
it's
totally
girls
the thing.
going, oh my god, you're not thick. You gotta
I mean,
be thick. You
that-
gotta have
that-
huge hips.
It's
That-
like the opposite of
That
what it
is
was like
nothing.
in
That
the
is
90s
nothing
and
new.
the
though.
80s.
That is nothing new. Girls have been
But
so
it's
judgmental
trashing
of
themselves
each
for
other.
But the
years.
fucking
body's
point
image.
is, if it's
For-
not unifying
since
them, it's
magazine
completely
times.
dividing them, then it's not fucking feminism.
No.
It's different.
And if it's run by corporations that are
but
fucking
it's
run by,
underlined. It's
marketed
underlined
by
as feminism.
men,
It's masked as
That-
feminism.
and like you know what I mean.
That-
Men ultimately are dividing and controlling.
That
women.
is a huge thing with this fucking Black Lives Matter stuff too. It started out as a Black Lives Matter, you know, band together against the racism, against the hatred from the cops and everything that's standing out.
Now it's all
And then-
conservative white women.
And then now it's all fucking conservative Republican white people.
Oh, did you see the Bill Burr
profiting
thing?
off
yeah,
of this shit.
that was so good.
I haven't seen the Bill Burr thing. I've talked to my
Dude,
dad a lot.
fuck
He
him.
fucking,
My
yeah,
dad
his
loves that.
monologue on SNL.
Black Lives
You got so
Matter
much
is
shit for that?
the dumbest
Absolutely
fucking
incredible.
thing in the world.
Well,
I
just mean
That's
I just mean where
controversial.
it went to what we were
No, but
talking
it's
about
just
with
like-
feminism becoming a more capitalistic sense of
I get what you
view
mean.
on it,
I get what you mean.
and less
Phrasing
of a-
could have been better though.
less of a feminine collective and becoming more of like,
There's
oh,
a
we can
huge-
profit off of this. That is just kind of our
Any-
society.
any
That's
movement-
what's
any
like
movement
happening
that-
with social media.
Yeah,
I can make money off of this shit because it's trending right now and it's becoming a
Who
hot
is
topic.
sponsoring Black Lives Matter? It's mostly like every company is fucking like
That's
selling
what I mean.
Black
Yeah,
Lives
but
Matter.
that's just
It's
started off
funded
as a
by
good thing.
billionaires.
That's
like,
yeah.
fucking
That's
billionaires.
capitalism.
And
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
neoliberalism.
exactly.
Republican billionaires.
It doesn't matter. The fucking thing
doesn't.
is that it's just like there's this huge narrative on that the media and the American state want to sell fucking violence against black people right now. They're selling it. Not as a way to fucking unify black people, because if you unify yourself and you talk about ending racism by separating yourself and identifying with the problem as a fucking race issue, and it doesn't matter what social class you are, then you're dividing people in America, because you know what I mean? Like,
Because it's
fucking,
profitable.
in terms of power, a poor white person has way more in common with a poor black person than a rich black person, a millionaire black guy, and a poor black person.
Yeah.
It's because
Yeah.
we're not all
Except
that
you
different.
don't want to draw attention. They don't want to draw attention to that fucking power dynamic. They want to draw attention to racism. So all the media narrative wants to fucking put out is literally like crimes from white cops against black people. And so they're selling this thing. But if you fucking want to end racism by making a divide that separates races, you're being fucking racist.
100%.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, that was-
Like,
yeah,
Black
that
Lives
was like-
Matter.
yeah.
If you think that ending racism comes by separating and dividing races, you're being racist.
Well, that was like
It-
there
it
were some
definitely comes-
colleges. Yeah, like there
Well
were some
said.
colleges in the United States where like some of them wanted black people to be separated from white people for their safety. And it's like that's segregation.
That's
literally
literally
segregation.
taking
You're
all the
stepping
steps
backwards.
back, yeah.
Like
I
Martin
was
Luther
down for
would
that,
literally
though.
be rolling in his grave
Race
if
wars.
he heard that. Like it's just
I get my own shit.
yeah. Like I think the premise behind it is again I think honestly Morgan Freeman said it the best way of how to end racism.
Yep.
He said, "Stop talking about it."
Yeah.
You know, like sure, if someone's like being racist, call them out. But if we don't need these protests or whatever, just stop talking about it.
If
You
you're
know,
gonna- if you're gonna
stop
let them
bringing
pass.
attention to it. If we stop talking about it, right?
Yeah. It'll because we are such like a trendy society. You take it out of mainstream views, and it slowly fizzles away. It's like reverse assimilation.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
No, exactly.
instead of shoving it down people's throats, this is the way it is.
Mhm.
Just not talk about
I
it.
think
It's
just-
kind of become this thing that was part of our past, but isn't so much part of us now. It does happen, but in order to
100%.
get by it, stop fucking focusing and trying to drill it into people. You know,
It just
We are
boils
moving-
down
we
to
are
being a
moving
good
forward.
person at the end of the day. You just
Yeah.
if you're a good person and you
Race-
respect your own differences and like there's a power to appreciating your own differences, right? Like
Yep.
when you talk about black or white, you should really just be talking about you should be celebrating your race, but you should also be celebrating who you are as a person, right?
Yeah.
Boils down to just being a half decent human being, right?
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's what we are. We're
yeah,
fucking
we're human. We're all human.
Yeah.
We're all physiologically
Just
not the same. Like you know what I mean?
actually,
We're all
just don't be a cunt,
ascended
like-
consciousness, and if I achieve Tela, I will actually. ascend.
different. I'm built different.
but like it's almost like
Sorry, I'm eating all your crazy things.
it's like how when Antifa first came
My bad.
into the spotlight, people were like, oh yeah, anti-fascist, blah 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 blah. But like the problem is that when Antifa really started to push their limit and essentially attack anyone that essentially disagreed with them by calling them Nazis, that's where it went over the line. And people were like, what the fuck? Like Antifa is just fucked up. Like they're essentially now acting as terrorists. Like essentially like as terrorists.
I don't know
Wasn't
about
Antifa
that.
just like a group occupying areas saying that they aren't going to be governed by anyone? Just like we are fucking Freemasons or whatever, like we are free spirits and we will not be governed.
I'm a citizen of Earth.
Isn't that what Antifa
I'm a
was?
citizen of Earth.
Well,
Yeah,
it was,
yeah.
no, it was to
basically,
stop,
though, basically it was like a group of people going
Weren't they
around.
stopping
against
fascists. Like
Yeah.
And then they
it's
had like their own like
and
internal
then-
police.
and then they
created.
started their own internal police, and then the
Chad,
people
yeah.
that were distributing the guns,
Was that Seattle?
they were getting
that was
them
in Seattle,
from
yeah.
fucking gangbangers, and it was just like, dude, where are you coming from?
Yeah.
You're gonna stop
Gang
police
banger.
to fucking start buying your guns and supporting the fucking gangs and like.
But
Come
that's
on.
that's
Doesn't
the thing that
fucking
I
make
found so
sense.
interesting when that
And then
Yeah,
those
that's
people
interesting.
started killing people with those guns, and
Yeah.
that's when it
But
all.
see,
fucking
that
went
was the
on.
most ironic thing was when that whole thing was
That
set
was
up
pretty
in,
ironic, actually.
when that whole thing was set up in Seattle when they said when those
No police allowed.
when those protesters first started,
All
they
right,
were
now
like,
give
no
me some
police.
M16s.
Or
You
we're
guys
gonna
can't
get
do this shit.
we're gonna get people to stand at our border to check people coming in. It's like that's literally what police do.
They're policing.
like, and they're like, oh well, we're going to check also random people. That's literally what police do. Like, it just, it was so hypocritical. And like the fact that they were like, fuck the police, and at the same time doing exactly what the police were doing.
kind of proved a point, actually.
Yeah, like how you need essentially a police force. You know, like you.
And that's crazy
Yeah.
that you would say that because a lot of people disagree, and policing
100%.
has started becoming a lot more private, actually, and that seems the direction it's going to go in. A lot of departments in the States have actually shut down and gone private already.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is because I believe that.
Crazy.
Do I think like the police need these heavily armed vehicles mounted with like gas grenade guns? No, of course not. That's fucking overkill. Like that's way overkill. But like, do I also think at the same time that police should, be prepared for like I think they should be trained better to handle situations.
And that's
Right.
that's the whole thing with the private companies. If they're actually taken upon by a private company and there's going to be serious backlash and reprimandations needed for these inappropriate behaviors, that will be taken care of not through a union where the guy's job is protected and he's going to be safe and secure, and it's going to actually be taken through these private companies where the individual is responsible.
Mm-hmm.
So
But-
it's not so
yeah.
much I can fall back on fucking
Dude.
Vancouver or whatever because I'm part of VPD and they'll have my back for this shit. It's I'm personally responsible. I have to lawyer up,
Yeah, and like here's
and
the
that
thing,
should is what people are thinking. Stop a lot of the.
Well,
tax.
exactly. Like it's more the fact of like police should be taking responsibility for their actions, and they should be punished correctly for committing. Like if someone committed a crime, like say for example killed somebody, they would suffer punishment for that, severe punishment.
there's
But if the
also-
police don't suffer
There's
that
also
punishment,
so
it's
much
hypocritical.
moral ambiguity that happens when, like that's why cop cameras are so important.
Absolutely.
Because there's so many moral, the George Floyd. Have you guys seen the video?
Yes.
from
footage?
the cop cam or
Yeah,
like
I
from
haven't
the
seen it from the
Dude,
cop
there's
cam. I've seen it from the
two different
bystander.
stories from the whole incident. Like, I'm not trying to be on the side of the cops here, but dude, Buddy was fucking tweaking.
He was
like,
on fence.
He was
He was on fence.
fucked up, and it's not justifiable what they did.
no
It
100%.
isn't justifiable what they did, but it is understandable what side of the story was being played. There was two sides of the story, clearly, one from George and then one from the cops. And when you actually see objectively from the camera, you can see those two stories intersecting. And it's like, it's not just so black and white. There's so many different factors coming in. You can't just say, oh my god, this guy he was killed in cold blood. No, he wasn't. He did not cooperate with them. He was resisting the whole time. He wasn't even in cuffs before that he started fucking flipping shit. He was talking about his mom. Like, he was like, Mama, save me! No, his mom wasn't nowhere near
Yeah,
him.
but
Like,
the thing is, these things happen to white people too. It's just not getting picked up by the media.
well, it just needs.
No.
There just needs to be cameras. Like that would
Well,
solve
that's
so
why I
many
think
issues.
that's why I think cops should be wearing body cams.
Yeah.
Because like, and even for example, it's been proven that like I can't remember what state it was,
Policing themselves.
but it was
That's
proven
fucking
that
bullshit.
actually cops
They
that
should
wore
be.
body
Who
cams
investigates the police?
complaints actually
The police.
but actually
You're under arrest.
cops that
No,
wore
you're under
body
arrest.
cams. It's like,
No, I checked. We are all innocent. I'm pretty sure.
but like it's been proven that like when cops wore body cams, there was one state where like there were a lot of complaints towards police officers being like over aggressive and blah blah blah. The moment the cops started wearing the body cams, those complaints went down because like they started to re-look at the footage to see what actually happened and prove that some people were just making the shit up, or like some cops were actually like
I don't know why
overstepping
they're
the
not
line.
already mandatory.
They should be mandatory.
The body cams is definitely a step in the right direction.
100%.
100%. When you see fucking cops trying to shiftily turn that shit off from a bystander recording or through the person being questioned recording, that is fucking terrifying. From a third party point of view, a cop trying to turn his body camera off because of whatever shit that you see is going on inside his fucking head, whatever gears are turning, that's scary fucking shit, man, as a third party person. So I can't even imagine being the person recording, having the fucking balls to pull out the camera, you know, like another person.
That I have to make
That's
about
shit
third party
bro.
recorders is that if you're putting yourself in a position where you're trying to get footage, you're putting yourself in danger, and that's another variable the cop has to deal with. That's the only thing I don't really like about people who are like, you're killing this guy, and they're standing in front of the cop who has a gun. It's like, that's the dumbest thing you can fucking do. Move 2 blocks down, zoom in, and then
you gotta
like,
not
again,
give a
there's
fuck
some
about your
situations
safety.
it's like you're not protecting anyone. You're about to become a fucking murder victim. Like, get the fuck out of
honestly,
there.
like there are some situations that like
suicide by cop. I love these.
I'm POV suicide by cop.
Remember there was a situation. I think it was last year. Something like that.
I have a gun.
There was a situation where
What'd you say?
I think it was in Canada. I think it took place in Canada. Where like this. Sorry.
Where's that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Canada.
Somewhere in Canada. Anyways, it was somewhere in Canada. I think it was near Toronto. Anyways, and there was this girl working for a pizza place, and she just for the Halloween spirit, she dressed up as a stormtrooper. Or no, sorry, the place was a Star Wars themed pizza place. That's what it was.
Okay.
And so she dressed up as a stormtrooper with a blaster and the armor and everything. And someone made a complaint, or sorry, called the police saying this person has a gun and blah blah blah. So the cops swarmed the person, but like the cops in that situation definitely overstepped the line because like they should have pulled up on scene, seen someone in a stormtrooper outfit and been like, oh, it's a costume, but they didn't. Like they overstepped their line, essentially threw the girl to the ground.
Put her on blast.
Yeah, like put her on blast. Like it just. They overstepped the line, and the owner was just like, it's literally just someone in a costume. The cop was just like, shut the fuck up, get back inside, blah blah blah. It's like, no, he's the owner. Like anyway. So.
Me and my roommate.
Yeah, cops need to learn how. I think cops need to learn a bit more how to de-escalate versus escalate the situation. Like that's pure escalation.
A lot of it comes into training, right? A lot of cops will
100%.
plead, I didn't have the proper training. That is not a fucking excuse.
It's individual
That is
difference.
insubordinate. That is ridiculous.
It's individual difference, though. Some people are literally just psychologically trained to deal with de-escalation. They should psych screen cops.
I
agree. Because
100%.
training only goes so far when you're actually dealing with like a life-threatening, about to die issue. Cops are humans too.
Not everyone can deal with the fight or
Cortisol
flight.
levels are increased. They start to panic. Their hands start to shake. They don't know if they're going to hit a shot or not. They don't know how to de-escalate it, and the only thing they do is they rely on their guns. Right?
Gives them safety.
Right? So they're trigger happy, right? But if you're an actual trained cop who's psychologically all there too, you can control your emotions a little bit better and you can de-escalate it. It's individual difference.
Also, a lot of it is how cops go into the situation saying they didn't have the proper training. I didn't know what I was walking into because this was the call that I got and I had to assume the worst. That should not be the fucking case.
No, 100%.
You should never assume the worst. That is just a pessimistic way to look at life as well.
Just observe and evaluate.
There's so many times, so many stories you hear, you know, just like laughable stories, you know. Rowdy pool party cops get called. It's a couple of kids outside and a fucking busybody neighbor just trying to get that shit shut down because they didn't like it happening, right? Imagine cops pull up with guns. You're potentially causing a traumatic scene for a child, right?
100%.
Cops show up with guns. He's not going to trust the police, right? So a lot of it is also how they present themselves just on day-to-day stuff, right?
Yeah.
You can't grow up and have a bad situation happen with cops and then fucking trust them later on in life. Yeah. I've been lucky enough to be born white, and when the cops have been busting into my door and, you know, talking about what's been going on in my house, I've been blessed enough where the cops don't really care about what's been going on and been called for a noise complaint, right? However, if they were called and said a gun was on the premises, right, or something else, and they fucking show up and I'm hanging out playing video games with my roommate, and cops show up with that kind of situation and that kind of preparation involved, that's now putting me in a fight or flight scenario. Now, I'm not gonna be like sane. I'm not gonna be in a normal state of mind. I'm gonna freak out a little bit, and that's what I mean. Cops shouldn't like go into these situations with these expectations, assuming the worst.
Depending on what call they get, though, that's the one problem, right?
It's
like
call.
if they get domestic dispute, those are like the most dangerous. Those are the most dangerous things that they could ever go investigate.
Yeah.
Like a domestic dispute, there's so many tensions being.
Oh,
Yeah,
because
there's so many
such
different
such
levels.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
could be a minor
situation.
argument. It could
So-
be like someone's getting beat.
So when it comes
right?
down to like the cop safety too, being prepared for the worst might not be the worst thing. But I know what you mean. Don't show up with the fucking gun already loaded, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Just like
Just
putting yourself
evaluate.
in
Keep
the
the chamber
mindset.
out of the magazine,
Yeah,
or keep it
or put
round
on
out of the
safety.
chamber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can watch cop POV cams of a cop showing up to a scenario, kind of lighthearted, you know,
And just
a
completely
regular day
changing
in
the
the
whole
job.
thing.
Completely changes
Yeah.
the whole thing. You know,
Yeah.
he's kind of talking to the guy, talking to the girl. It's a completely different scenario if a cop showed up
Pulling his
and
gun
you know he
immediately.
was just kind of pissed off or whatever. His wife left him. He's been having a shit day, and he handles it completely differently.
Yeah.
How the cop handles the situation changes the situation
100%.
and can turn it into something that it's not, for the better or for the worse.
Yeah. It's really situational though, because you can also argue that as soon as a cop lets his guard down, becomes buddy with him, that's the moment he gets
That-
stabbed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was, like, there
that's
was
what
that
they're
video,
trained.
yeah.
They're
That-
trained.
yeah,
they're
they-
trained to be fearful for their
It,
lives.
it,
Well,
it
there
should
was-
be it should be buddy, but it should be assertive. Like they
Yeah.
know that you're the authority.
Give the semblance of,
Yeah, like-
of
Yeah.
putting your
Well, like,
card
there was-
down.
there
At
was
the same
this,
time, always being prepared.
Yeah, exactly
Yeah.
right.
Well, like,
Don't
there was-
show up
there was this
empty-handed,
video,
ready to get stabbed. in the
Showing up
throat.
with a beer, like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, you good guy. I know you. a good guy.
Knockity knock.
Bro, 6 a.m.
Who wants to get high? Like, you know, but like
I only brought my taser.
there was actually a video. But there was a video where this cop was dealing with a situation where like there was this kid with his hands behind his back and everything like that, and the cop is literally trying to be genuine. Like, hey, look, let's just talk to me, man. Like, let's sort this out, blah blah blah. And then like the kid's like, all right, like I should get help. Like, yeah, would you be able to help me
Is this
out?
the
Blah blah blah.
donut video? Did
No.
you see that? Oh, this was recent, wasn't it? Were they in the forest?
It was pretty recent. Like,
Yes.
and then the cop like approached the guy, and the kid just like took out a knife, stabbed him right in the neck.
It's so fucked.
Like,
You
like
get to see
straight
it
jab.
stabbed.
He
It's
lived.
So fucked.
Like, he lived, but like the fact that the cop was like being genuine, but at the same time, in the
Put him
moment
at
he
risk.
approached, just straight
Well,
like stabbed
he
him.
was being a dumbass. The cop was being dumb because the kid had his hands behind his back.
I mean, that's where
He
should
didn't
have
say
been
put
at.
your
Yeah.
hands where I can see him. He just said, "What's going on? What's wrong with you?" And the kid stabbed him in the neck. And then you can see like all the adrenaline was running. He managed to like tackle the kid, and then
Killed him.
yeah.
What a fucking
And then and then his
badass.
backup came, and then they were like handcuffing it, and then on his POV cam, like the cop's like, "But you're bleeding." He's like, "Am I?" He's like, "Oh, I think I got stabbed in the neck." And then he was like walking off camera, and then you can slowly see him like all his like adrenaline's fading, and he's like, "Oh fuck, I got stabbed in the neck."
Oh.
And he's walking off. He's like, "Do you need a band-aid?" He's like, "Yeah."
I would give more than a
I
Band-Aid,
would cap
but
the shit out of the cat, back, bro.
It was fucked up. He managed to fucking get
I'll
him.
stab you
bro.
in the neck. Pop, pop.
yeah.
How did he do it? Yeah, he tased him, right? Yeah, he tased
Yeah,
him.
tased him.
He tased him.
That's so crazy. I mean, like, of course, there's really nothing you can do in a
No.
situation like that. You know, a kid's just fucked. But
He needed help.
I mean, that is also. I'm not gonna play that down saying it was like a normal thing to happen. But that is what you sign up for. You know,
100%.
you
It's a part of it.
are supposed to defend me as a taxpayer. So I'm not gonna do it.
Being a cop's a hard job, man.
It is.
It's fucked.
Well, same thing with like I think anything that involves that kind of work, whether you're a crisis worker or EMS or
Well, it's also like
Yeah,
so
I feel like-
unpredictable
I
too,
feel
because
like
you can
you-
go your whole career not seeing a fucking minute of action, but also you can fucking get shot in your first day.
Yeah, right.
Like
yeah.
like literally anything can fucking happen.
location.
Or
Yeah.
talking somebody out of a suicide.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You don't have any idea how that's gonna affect you, but you
VPD
gotta rise to the occasion.
It's so different
Yeah.
than Port Moody cops.
100%.
Like,
Yeah.
VPD, like there's VPD's fucking focusing on the wrong things. Though. They focus on modified cars when like there's like massive drug hideouts and shit going down.
It's
like
like-
I
actual
see.
big
I
cars.
see your
This is the
kilo of
thing-
cocaine. That's fine, but that car is so
Well, it's like-
unrugged.
remember,
the thing with
Why is it
VPD
lowered like an inch? Fuck you, VI.
A lot of recent cops are like kind of gravitating towards VPD too. Is just the way that it pays and the way that
Yeah, the box one
they
tickets.
kind of run it.
Yeah.
Is
They get a lot of money
it's
from
different.
those.
Oh, yeah.
It's different than
Like commission.
how like a normal city would do it.
But-
No, it like straight up though.
You know,
like,
you
it
Best
Buy
Buy
pays-
doesn't
it
pay fucking
pays
commission.
it
No,
pays
right.
the most. So
You know if you have a
You're gonna look
if you have
over
a
number
car that comes from the factory with like a so like there's the racing divisions of cars, right? There's Toyota TRD, Honda what is it? Honda the Type R, Type R,
Mhm.
and then there's BMW the M series, right?
Mhm.
You can't in in Vancouver, if you have a TRD exhaust from the dealer, a cop can pull you over and give you like a VI box 1 for having that exhaust that comes from the factory. Like you can't run around with OEM exhaust anymore. And people be getting pulled over, getting VIs for having completely stock cars.
I know.
And it's ridiculous. Like,
I know, but
Porsche
That was like that guy
Yeah,
with the
I know.
Porsche.
Yeah,
Like there was a news report of a guy who literally bought his car straight off the lot. It was a Porsche,
and it had
and
the
then he
factory Porsche exhaust.
totally stock exhaust. Went down the street, got pulled over. The cop was like, "That's not stock," and ticketed him for it. And of course, he fought it. Like I think he won, but
The VI, it's like the actual process of getting your car un-VI'd is so hard because you have to go to like a registered VI place, like any basically any mechanic shop does the VIs, but you have to take your car to complete stock, and then you have to pay a fine.
Yeah.
Which is like, bro, it's such a process, and you have to pay the guy to do your VI.
Before too, when we had air care, it was like an extra step.
Yeah, because they check your like exhaust manifold.
So yeah,
I remember
it's
I think that was a thing.
it's a pretty costly experience, the whole thing.
Yeah, it's bad, man.
Alright, you guys want to wrap up this podcast?
Yeah, that was a good episode.
2 hours.
2
Yeah.
hours.
Holy smokes.
That went by pretty fast.
Part
Yes,
1
sir.
and part 2.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, split it down the middle, bro.
That was a good fucking comeback.
At
episode.
105,
Yes, sir.
at 105 to 107, there's gonna need to be some cuts.
No,
Yeah.
no, there doesn't.